Alrighty, welcome back everybody to our latest live stream. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon so far. We are going live for severe weather coverage as things are starting to ramp up a little bit. We do have a pretty large area of severe weather today. We actually have an enhanced risk. I'll show you more in detail in a second on what that entails, but we have some significant storms happening right now. We're going to hop right into those first, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the general risk and other storms that are happening. But right now near Omaha, Nebraska, this is the most significant area of storms that we have ongoing right now. This is a cluster of storms that has a history of producing damaging winds that exceed 70 to 80 miles per hour, and we are about to see the worst of this storm move right into the downtown area of Omaha. So if you are in this particular area of Nebraska, make sure that you are staying away from windows, as significant damaging winds could send debris flying into these different areas. We actually just got a new warning on this as well for those in Tecumseh as well as Fort Calhoun, and then eventually in Missouri Valley, Iowa, for damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour. And as a reminder, winds this high are destructive, meaning that we could see, trees falling down, we could see flying trampolines, all that sort of stuff. So make sure that you're staying away from windows. Just treat this as if there's a tornado warning in Omaha, because this is a significant area of storms. It is bowing out, which means that we are going to see a more of a surge of wind as this moves through the Omaha area. We actually do have a shot moments ago of this storm. Yeah, I'll actually see it here. Let me make sure this is in the shot entirely. Yeah, so this right here, look at the shelf cloud that's rolling in right now to the city of Omaha, and that's a pretty good view of it right now. That's where the leading edge of this damaging wind threat is going to be, and we now have a tornado warning that has been issued. I think it might be on this storm. We have a brand new tornado warning in Nebraska. That is going to be for those, this is Nebraska and Iowa. So new tornado warning, Harrison County, Iowa, Douglas County, Nebraska, Washington County, Nebraska, and Potawatomi County, Iowa, included in a brand new tornado warning on the north and west side of Omaha. That right there is the couplet. So right over Bennington right now, we do have an area of rotation. This is possibly going to drop a tornado at any time as this moves to the northeast. So make sure that you're seeking shelter immediately, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and into an interior room of your home or building if you're in this warning. Again, brand new tornado warning here, both in Iowa and as well as Nebraska. The area of rotation right now is in Nebraska near Bennington. So you got to seek shelter if you're in this warning. This is a pretty dangerous storm and is very capable of producing a tornado, as it is a pretty strong couplet. We have a new radar scan coming in right now. We'll see what it looks like here in a second. And it is updating as we speak. Let's see. And the latest scan has broadened it out. So brief little spin up, maybe even a brief tornado. I'm not seeing as much rotation though on this latest scan. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, so this is the latest scan. Let's go back to velocities. This was as of 5:43, which that was 4 minutes ago. A little tightening there. And on the latest scan, we're going to wait for this to update again. May have even had a brief tornado. I think it already occluded though. We're going to see what the latest scan shows. This is back up near Bennington. Also have a little couplet on the west side of Omaha. So we could even see a tornado try to drop here in a more populated area on the northwest side of Omaha, moving towards the Garden Valley Courts area. So make sure that you're in your safe place if you're in those areas. Missouri Valley and Iowa, Interstate 880, and as well as Interstate 29 in the track of this particular storm. But again, tornado warning for this area. At the bare minimum, we are talking about significant damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour. That'll be pretty similar to if there were like an EF0 tornado, for example. So you want to be taking this warning very seriously as this does continue to move to the northeast over the next several minutes. Going to see what this latest radar scan shows here. The CC has updated. The velocities are still behind. We're waiting for those to update. Also, we do have Connor Croft and Storm Runner Media. Bottom right of your screen, that is Connor Croft. He's looking at the storm in South Dakota. So they are both in South Dakota today chasing. We'll have live cameras out of both Nebraska and Iowa with this threat of severe weather as it does continue over the next several hours. As, again, we are expecting basically at least a mesoscale convective system. But we might even see something like, maybe even a mini derecho. I wouldn't rule out something like that, depending on how this all evolves. But again, latest radar scan. This is as of 5:43. We haven't had a full update, but again, if there is a tornado on the ground, it's going to be approaching Fort Calhoun in Iowa, and also we might have something else back over on the northwest side and north side of Omaha, Nebraska. So these are the two areas that we are the most concerned about right now for the potential for a tornado. We are off-centered. Let me fix my camera real quick. I did not realize we were not set up correctly. One moment. This is Not the right dimensions. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. It should be fixed now. There we go. All right, so these are the two areas right here. So we got, again, got Omaha, and then we got another area right here near Bennington. So again, both of these couplets moving to the northeast. They will be crossing into Iowa over the next few minutes. So we're going to be watching this very closely. Again, seek shelter if you're in this warning. We'll be keeping a close eye on this as it continues to move to the northeast. We also do have a photo from Hunter Hurley. Let me pull that up real quick. I know Hunter Hurley's on this storm. He's currently chasing this threat of storms, and this is the latest from him. This is over near Omaha. So this is his latest shot here, which is absolutely crazy. Like that's the shelf cloud that we're looking at here going through Omaha. Really stunning photos, again, from Hunter Hurley. You can check him out on Twitter, and I think he might be live on YouTube as well. Here's the latest scan on radar. And I'm not really seeing much near Omaha. The only area of rotation that I really see right now is going to be back up near Fort Calhoun. And even then, that just appears very broad. Like, I'm not really seeing anything that looks imminent. So maybe just a quick little spin up, and it's now broadened out on the latest scan. We will continue to watch this, obviously, because there could be a potential for an isolated tornado as this does move into Iowa. I do want to quickly point your attention to Kansas. We are watching Kansas as well and other states, but Kansas is another state that we've been watching. Destructive hail has been falling with these storms for the last several hours in northern Kansas. These storms are moving to the east-southeast near an outflow boundary, and they will continue to produce the threat for very large hail, damaging winds, and perhaps even an isolated tornado. Right now, most of the storms are centered across pretty rural areas of Nebraska, northern Kansas, just north of Interstate 70. But we'll be watching Manhattan and Topeka over the next few hours because we could see a damaging wind threat or hail threat transpire in those areas. So just stay weather aware over there. Also, further to the north, we do have severe weather in Minnesota. This is an area that we're really just mostly looking at hail and wind. Nothing really beyond that right now. We are watching a conditional tornado risk with these storms here in South Dakota. We have multiple storm chasers on these storms, including Brandon Kopic, Connor Croft, and as well as Corey Gherkin. Corey Gherkin's bottom right of your screen. So we'll continue to watch this very closely and see if anything does go kind of crazy. We could get a photogenic tornado if something does stay discreet there. It's not guaranteed by any means, but it is something that we'll be keeping a close eye on in case we do see something kind of crazy up there. But with this particular cluster of storms here right along the Iowa and Nebraska border, this should be predominantly damaging winds. Like, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of tornadoes. If we do see tornadoes, they are going to be quick and they're going to be very rain-wrapped. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. It's not really a great chasing environment with this line of thunderstorms. So that's what we're looking at. What is a photogenic tornado? Is when a tornado is basically not rain wrapped. It's basically visible with the bare eye. Like, you don't have to, go into a storm per se to go see it. Tornado on the ground south of Omaha. I think this might be rotation, but it's also out in front of the storm. I'm not thinking that's a tornado. There's a lot of clear air contamination up and down this area. Wouldn't rule out, there's a little bit of rotation there east of Omaha. We'll see how that evolves in the next scan. Yeah, I'm not ruling out a brief tornado really in any part of this line, but it's also out in front of the, the leading edge of this thunderstorm activity. We don't usually see tornadoes that far out to the east of a line like this. Yeah, there's a lot of truck drivers out there. It is rush hour, so this is kind of worse timing. This is literally hitting the entire Omaha metro right now, so it's really bad timing. We also just had a wind gust of 80 miles per hour observed over in the Paplion area of Nebraska. That is just to the southwest of Omaha. So moments ago, that was just observed. That is definitely significant, to say the least, moments ago. Let me see if we have any more live shots as well. Give me 1 second. The wind is wicked in Bellevue, Nebraska. Yeah, again, these damaging winds are no joke. We're talking about 80 mile per hour plus damaging winds right now moving through the Omaha area. And so obviously that's the reason why we're live. I honestly wasn't going to go live unless something significant like this happened. So definitely significant right now. And the worst of this event today will basically be from now until probably 10. But it will continue overnight tonight into areas like Illinois. It's going to be a pretty long event. And then tomorrow we have another risk of severe weather. We'll probably talk more about that at some point later in the stream. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty active, next 24 to 48 hours. Here's the latest live shot here out of Omaha. You actually can see how windy it is. This is just a photo, but you actually can see the wind and the rain. The rain's being pushed, literally towards this camera from the wind. It is very windy right now in Omaha. There's literally no doubt about that. And we also have a new destructive severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. Let me pop over to that. I think it's going to be this one, unless that's... Yeah, all right, so it's going to be back over here. I have another destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour for the Shenandoah area, Essex, near Red Oak, Malvern, and Tabor. So if you're in those areas, stay away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. Again, treat it as if it is a tornado warning, as these storms are still relatively significant. Even if we don't see a tornado, we are still going to be talking about significant damaging winds that are very comparable to there being a tornado. So make sure that you're staying in your safe place. This is definitely not a situation you want to be messing around with. And again, I would not rule out a possible derecho with this when it's all said and done. It's not a really large cluster of storms, but this particular cluster has really a lot of energy to work with. And we could be talking about a pretty numerous to widespread damaging wind threat that will eventually go in the direction of Des Moines. So if you're back over in Des Moines, make sure you're taking the proper precautions, because this line of storms will be on track for you later as we go into the evening hours. And right now it's almost 6 o'clock. They'll probably be there around 8 to 9 o'clock tonight, and it will probably be pretty significant. At least a damaging wind threat. We also could see the potential for, again, maybe even a couple of tornadoes along its path, which that's what we're watching for right now.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Okay. So we have a new tornado warning. That is going to be for Pottawatomie County. I think it's going to be that rotation near Omaha, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, all right. So new tornado warning just east of Omaha. This is going to be for those in Trainer, McClelland, Oakland, and Carson. If you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter immediately, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. This is yet again another tornado warning. We're going to check out the velocities once they update. They are 6 minutes behind right now, for whatever reason. We'll hopefully have an update here in a second. This is the latest scan, which does not appear concerning really at all, but I would definitely be in your safe place just in case. It is radar indicated rotation, just like the last one. So this is, again, radar indicated rotation for both the storm north of Omaha and east of Omaha. We have two different tornado warnings, again, for embedded circulations in this line of thunderstorms, both of which are capable of producing a tornado. Let's go to Connor. I'm going to put Connor bottom right. He's also looking at that storm in South Dakota. Let me check out and see if we have any live shot of this storm in Iowa. Thanks, Samantha, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to see if we have any shot of this storm right now. This is the latest velocity scan. Again, I'm not really seeing anything near the surface on this. Let's go to base velocities tilt 2. You actually can see that. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we had a tornado south of Council Bluffs a few moments ago. Even if there wasn't, you know, a CC drop or anything like that, we actually had a tightening in the mid levels, which sometimes does indicate a tornado. We actually have strong rotation aloft as well near Fort Calhoun, so it is very possible that we at least have a wall cloud on both of these couplets, or even just at least the northern one. But I would not be surprised if we have some level of a wall cloud or rotating base right now on this storm. All right, let's see. And by the way, I am currently traveling. That's why I'm in a different place, just letting you know. So, yeah, we're kind of working with a robust setup. We have 4 monitors. We have 2 laptops, and we have 2 main monitors. It's something. And I'm looking at a laptop to be able to try to find cameras, and trust me, it is a pain because it's so small. Okay, the tornado warning on the northern tornado warning was just updated. It is still radar indicated north of Omaha. It'll probably just end up being condensed, is my guess. That's your rotation, and then again, the other rotation's right there east of Omaha. So again, continue to stay in your safe place if you are in this warning, or either 2 of the warnings. These are both 2 tornado warnings. The bare minimum, we are dealing with damaging winds upwards of 80 miles per hour. Okay, I think we have at least 1 live shot. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, there are a few cameras in the area of the tornado warning going into Iowa, but all of them are pretty much looking at the ground. Nothing definitive right now. All I know is that there is a crazy shelf cloud with this, like this entire complex of storms. We have a really crazy shelf cloud. Here's the latest scan on the storm near Fort Calhoun, just north of Omaha. Again, a little bit of a tightening, just nothing on the ground yet. It's kind of been like this for the last several scans. It's kind of in that little notch on the, this little notch that we have up here. You'll see it better when the reflectivity updates, but that's where we're watching for the potential for a tornado. It's still not really super definitive that it's going to drop something in the next few minutes. We still have a lot of mid to low level rotation, at least aloft, but nothing again on the ground as of right now. It could again be a little bit more photogenic. You might actually be able to see it if you're like a storm chaser in the area, as it is a little bit out in front of that rain. And then the other storm near Council Bluffs, I'm not seeing anything right now that's like on the ground, but if we go back to like tilt 2 or tilt 3, which looks a little bit higher up into the atmosphere, have a little bit more spin. It's not as definitive as a couple minutes ago, but there's at least still some spin there. At the bare minimum, as I mentioned before, we are talking at least about damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour. Still not ruling out the potential though for a tornado or two as these continue to move eastbound over the next several minutes. But again, as of moments ago, this is from Hunter Hurley. I showed you this a moment ago, but Hunter Hurley, this is what we're looking at back over in Omaha. So again, unbelievable shelf cloud here. This is the leading edge of this storm activity. Here's that other shot as well. Really just, again, crazy looking storm. I mean, these photos are also just insane, insane quality. And if Hunter Hurley does have anything else, we'll definitely keep you posted. He's right now in the Omaha area, though, with this cluster of storms.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground.
All right, this tornado has now gone observed. So we now have a confirmed tornado. This has been observed probably by weather spotters near McClelland and Trainer. So if you are in this tornado warning, you got to seek shelter. We now officially have a tornado on the ground. This has now been observed. This is going to be near McClelland. It's going to be approaching Oakland and the Trainer area. So this is a damaging tornado observed by law enforcement near mile marker 5 on Interstate 80. That's as of 5 minutes ago that they observed this tornado. It could very easily still be on the ground. So make sure that you're staying in your safe place. We did have very strong mid-level rotation. Nothing definitive still near the ground, at least on the velocities, but that doesn't mean we don't have a tornado. So just make sure that you're in your safe place right now. This is, again, confirmed by law enforcement in the area just east of Omaha in Nebraska. This is, again, right now happening now here in Iowa. This is actually a live shot on south of I-2 or I-80. There's actually a police officer there on the right. The tornado may have just passed by this camera on the left. Not entirely sure. These cars are racing though right now to the east, trying to get away from the storm, but the tornado might have just been on the left side of your screen, but I didn't see it clearly. Wind should pick up here in a second too. So again, this is an observed tornado confirmed in western Iowa in Pottawatomie County. I cannot say that. That county, though, is included in this confirmed tornado. Let's see if we have another live shot of this or not. That's like the furthest up live shot I think that we have of that storm. So, but there may have just been a tornado on that live shot. So again, the tornado itself will be right to the east of I-80, and it's going to be approaching Quick, Trainer, Taylor, York Center, and Oakland. This is probably a spin-up tornado, but from what we know, this is again observed as of about 6 minutes ago by law enforcement in the area. So stay in your safe place if you are in this pink polygon for Pottawatomie County. We had a CC drop scans ago. There's been kind of, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, this might have been a CC drop back over south of Council Bluffs. We'd have to go back in time on that. We just have a lot of clear air contamination on the leading edge of this, which is playing around with the radar quite a bit. Let me go back to CC. It's like that would have been the one spot that we may have actually had a tornado. Let me go to velocities and go back to that spot. Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if we had a tornado near Council Bluffs. It wasn't warned at the time. But, I mean, again, the tornado that has been observed was 7 minutes ago. So this is either a new tornado or it's actually the tornado that has been happening. And, again, it would be pretty hard to see, but this is likely the tornado right here. So it's going to be approaching quick. It's currently moving eastbound. Still watching that live shot. I'm not seeing anything, though. It's just really just raining, so nothing really definitive there yet. The bare minimum, we are talking about that surge of damaging winds. Again, that leading edge of damaging winds moving towards Missouri Valley, Trainer, Oakland, and eventually Carson and McClelland. And Underwood will also be in the track of this over the next several minutes. We are still watching that other area of rotation that's back up near the DeSoto Lake, south of California Junction. That'll be crossing into Iowa as we speak, and that is currently moving towards Missouri Valley. So if you're in this area, again, continue to make sure to stay in your safe place as well. We could still see a tornado with this activity. Wouldn't even rule out a tornado somewhere up in here where we could get like a small little notch and maybe a little, couplet that could produce a tornado. Kansas City is not clear. No, Kansas City will have the potential for storms later. So Kansas City's definitely not in the clear. Kansas City's not really imminent, but you're probably at least a few hours. You're probably a few hours away from actually seeing something like more significant. What app am I using? This is Radar Omega. It's the top link in the description below. Let's see if we have any other reports right now. If you guys do see any reports, photos, videos, you can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. This is from Dustin Hyatt on Twitter. This is from Omaha moments ago. Not gonna play the entire video. It's only 11 seconds, but this is what it looks like. Pretty ominous skies in Omaha moments ago. It's definitely gonna be ominous in Omaha. There's no doubt. At least from moments ago when that shelf cloud was rolling through. It is a pretty crazy shelf cloud. We already saw photos from Hunter Hurley. This is undoubtedly a pretty crazy, shelf cloud. Oh my goodness, brother. This is from Lincoln, Nebraska. You guys won't believe it. This is from Travis on Twitter. Dude, you gotta be kidding me. We got trampolines that are rolling down roads. It's not even tossing trampolines on Tacos Tuesday. It's Wacky Weather Wednesday. And apparently we have tossing trampolines out there. Do you have a damage report coming out of Waterloo, Nebraska? There was a roof that was blown off of a commercial building as of 5:42 p.m. That was about 23 minutes ago. Again, if you're just tuning in, our confirmed tornado is this storm here near Trainer in Oakland. It was confirmed as of 10 minutes ago now. That was the last time that we had any sort of visual or confirmation. It might still be on the ground, and if it is, it's going to be just to the west of Trainer, south of McClelland, and it's going to be approaching Oakland and Hancock. So if you're in those areas, continue to stay in your safe place in western Iowa. We are going to continue to watch this threat very closely for the next several hours. We'll have that potential for damaging winds, and as well as maybe even a few tornadoes as this cluster continues to move towards Des Moines. It will probably continue to upscale into at least a significant damaging wind threat across a large chunk of Iowa, and that'll eventually go into the Midwest later tonight, and eventually into the overnight hours. We could be dealing with damaging winds there. Back over in Minnesota, again, it's mostly just hail and wind right now. I'm not seeing anything that concerning. There are tons of storm chasers on the storms right now in northern sections of South Dakota. We are still watching for a conditional tornado risk here. So far, nothing looks imminent, but we've had at least some reports of like a rotating wall cloud at one point, just a brief one. Nothing really imminent, though, up there in South Dakota, but it is something that we'll be watching for. And as I mentioned before, Kansas right now, it's mostly just damaging winds and even some significant hail. And we have another update. That other tornado warning back over in Harrison County, Iowa, that one is still radar indicated. But what I was saying is that we still have a cluster of storms here right near the outflow boundary in Kansas. These will eventually move in the direction of Manhattan and perhaps Kansas City. It should be mostly a damaging wind risk, but we could see a tornado or two out of this if any storms can get attached to that outflow boundary as these storms continue to move more in the southeast and easterly direction. So something to watch for. Again, you're not guaranteed to see storms if you are in Kansas City, but we're going to be watching that closely in case something does end up happening there. The main concern for Kansas City would be damaging winds. So that's what we're looking at up there. All right, let me go back over to here. If you guys do have any photos, you can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX as well. Already some crazy photos coming out of these storms. We'll be showing you them as we continue over the next several minutes. And again, if we still have a tornado on the ground, it would be near Trainer. Let's see what the latest velocities. Everything's still kind of indicating. I feel like this is more wind, but again, we might have a tornado that's just completely photogenic out in front of that leading edge of thunderstorms near McClelland or Trainer in Iowa. So that's the area that we're looking at right now for the potential for a tornado. But again, Missouri Valley, Iowa, California Junction, Iowa, and then McClelland, Oakland, and Trainer, Iowa, all included in these warnings. And we have another update. This is now back down to radar indicated. So this tornado warning is back down to radar indicated rotation near Oakland and McClelland. No longer observed. So again, if we have a tornado, it would be really on the leading edge. I really doubt there was a tornado for that long because of just the nature of what we've been looking at with the velocities and where that rotation's been. It's kind of been on the leading edge of this, which, again, most of the time, this is just wind. It's not usually a tornado. So at this point, more likely than not, it's more of a damaging wind threat. We'll stay zoomed out here for the time being until our next radar scan. Let me go over here real quick. This is from Patrick Rodriguez out of Lincoln, Nebraska. This is insane. Crazy photos there. There's also a tree down as well. So a couple of photos there out of the Lincoln, Nebraska area. There are also reports of a lot of power outages in Omaha, Nebraska right now. I'm going to see if we have a count on that. Yeah, right now, 46,000 without power, and this is poweroutage.us. This is the latest on power outages right now in Nebraska. Can't really get a great view of this, but on the right side of your screen, you'll see many counties in the red. That indicates a lot of people without power. Lots of power outages right now, and back over in Omaha, it hasn't updated in the last, 15 minutes or so, but we probably have a lot more power outages than what it's showing. At least 10% without power in that area. Many counties, though, like Lancaster and Saunders County, almost 50+% without power right now. So there are a lot of power outages in eastern Nebraska right now. Definitely something that you don't want to see. And unfortunately, if you're in, any part of southwestern Iowa, I would be ready for power outages, as this is going to continue for the next several hours to produce the potential for some significant damaging winds. So just make sure that you're continuing to stay vigilant and, be prepared for these storms as they continue to move to the east. Okay, let me catch up on chat here real quick. We'll wait for another scan. Thank you, Pecker, for the 19.99. Appreciate the generosity. Thank you, Jeb, for the 1.99. Thank you, Scott, for becoming a member. Thank you, Lynn and Katie, also for becoming 2-month members. Thank you, Samantha, for becoming a member. Thank you, Official, for the 2 months. Culver's tonight? I don't think so. I'm sorry, but I just don't think so tonight. Thank you, Emo, also for the 3 months. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't think we're getting Culver's tonight. If we're live for several hours, I kind of doubt we're going to be getting Culver's. Culver's, I think, closed at 10. It's already 7 my time, so. All right, let me check Twitter here real quick. See if we have any other updates. Yeah, we still have 2 tornado warnings. We got one for Missouri Valley and California Junction, Iowa, and then the other one for Oakland, just north of Trainer in Iowa. Brother, there's no shot. This is from one of the traffic cams in Iowa, and this is literally 5 minutes or 7 minutes ago. Looks like, I don't know, I think this might be damage. I'm not 100% sure. That actually looks like tree damage. I could be wrong, though. It might just be how the trees look. If those are trees, I'm not familiar with this area. But this right here is unacceptable. We got cars under overpasses. Like, what are we doing here? This is so dangerous. Do not park under overpasses, no matter what it is. I don't know why you would even park there for a tornado warning. Like, what do you think that's going to do? Like, if there's debris, it's just going to fly right into those cars. Like, it's literally a filter. Like, it's a little bit more understandable if somebody does it for hail, but obviously you're not supposed to. It's a little bit more, logical, if somebody's, under an overpass when there's hail. I don't know why you would be there for anything else, though. Like, it's, makes no sense. That's the city art? Oh, that's art? Oh, okay. That looked like destroyed trees. I'm not gonna lie. Didn't realize that was art. My bad. I'm not trying to make fun of the art. I don't know what that is, but my apologies. Just gonna be honest with you. That did not really look much like art. All right, here's the latest scan. Let's see what the velocities look like. Still not seeing any debris signature or anything like that. Wait for the velocities to update. By the way, is the mic quality and all that good? Does like everything look normal for a stream aside from my background, which is really robust? I don't know why I use the word robust so much. You can make fun of the art, no one likes them. Wow. Somebody might really like them. I don't know. I'm not trying to offend anybody. Looks good? Okay, cool. Yeah, we're running currently on 2 laptops, 4 monitors. It's quite the setup. I'll have to put a picture on Twitter later. It's a very incredible setup. Thank you, Justin, for the $5 super chat. Those are city statues made of scrap metal. As a OTR trucker, I see them all the time. Good to know. Thank you. Appreciate the history. All right, we're gonna have a new tornado warning for Harrison County, Iowa. So there you go.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
All right, brand new tornado warning. Harrison County, Iowa is going to be included in this new tornado warning. That would be on this storm near the Fort Calhoun in Missouri Valley area. We should have an update on that in a second. And there you go. So brand new tornado warning. It's going to be on that area of rotation back up near Modale and Magnolia, moving in the direction of Dunlap. If you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building as this continues to move north-northeast over the next several minutes. Let's go quickly. Unless Connor breaks up here. I was about to go to Connor. I just want to show you what he's looking at right now. Connor's on a more northern storm. He's over in South Dakota. Look at this. That's pretty beautiful. It's just a, you know, pretty ordinary sort of storm. Nothing real. I don't even think it's severe right now. Yeah, there is a severe warning on one of them for golf ball sized hail. I'm not sure if that's the one he's on. No, I don't think it is. That's a pretty impressive view right there.
Beautiful blues.
Also, we do have Brandon Kopic. He's on Radar Omega and on YouTube. You can see him on the Radar Omega app with the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. That is his live shot. He's also on those storms in South Dakota. Very ominous skies. Your mic gain is super high. Good to know. I have turned it down a little bit. Hopefully that's better. It might be high. I'm not entirely sure. I'm also pretty close to my mic.
This is just like horrible, guys. I can't like.
All right, we have to go back to radar. We do have an update. 90-mile-per-hour winds are now on this new warning in Iowa. That's going to be for those in Harlan, Elkhorn, Walnut, Avoca, Shelby, and Oakland. So that is a brand new upgrade to this warning. 90-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts are going to be a possibility with this storm. As of 6:05 p.m., which was about 11 minutes ago, there was a 90-mile-per-hour wind gust observed at the Omaha airport, which is actually not good because if there were, you know, there's probably planes there, and yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing. So 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts were observed there. Widespread damage to trees, power lines, and structures and cars has also been reported. So if you're in this warning, you got to be taking this seriously. Get underground if you can. Get to your safe place. This is as if there was an EF1 tornado ripping across a pretty large area.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
And there's now another tornado warning. That one's going to be for those in Page and Fremont County in Iowa. So if you're in that new tornado warning, which should pop up here in a second, make sure that you're seeking shelter away from windows, lowest floor possible. That's all the way back down near Riverton and Shenandoah. So it's going to be on this storm near Hamburg and Riverton. Not sure if we don't really have a great radar view of this. Let me go back to base velocities. This is also radar indicated. Oh, weather spotters reported a funnel cloud. All right, that's why we have a tornado warning. So, not seeing anything on velocities, but weather spotters have reported a funnel cloud on this storm near Shenandoah, College Springs, and Hamburg, just to the south of Sydney. So, make sure that you're in your safe place if you're in this warning. That is also radar indicated, but there is a funnel cloud that's being reported on that storm. And then the one up here near Oakland, that one goes for 12 more minutes. This one was observed at one point. For right now, it is not on the ground, but we'll still watch it closely. The one back over near Missouri Valley, Modale and Magnolia. This one is still rotating. Go back to base velocities here. I'm not really seeing a whole lot on base velocities. The rotation that was with this storm kind of broadened out, but I would still be in your safe place just in case. It is an area that is more favorable for a tornado. It's kind of on the northern side here of this mesoscale convective system that's developed. And as I mentioned before, I'm still not ruling out the potential for some sort of derecho with this. If it's able to just maintain itself for the next several hours, it's definitely possible. It's rotating on storm relative. Are you talking about this one down to the south? I'm not really seeing a whole lot. It's not, unless you're talking about the northern one. Yeah, the northern one has some like broad, weak circulation up there. It's not really too crazy though. Split the difference on the mic gain. Okay, I turned it up a little bit. I think it's fine. I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Okay, let me see if we have any more reports here on Twitter. Friendly reminder, if you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the like button down below. It does help get this out to more people. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll keep you posted with the latest with severe weather coverage. And we got Storm Chaser Connor Croft. We got Brandon Kopic and Corey Gherkin all out there right now. Connor Croft, bottom right of your screen, has a crazy shot of a storm right now. I'm going to real quickly full cam to him. I don't know why that decided to flash now. That's very cute. Let's go to Brandon real quick. Let's go to Connor. All right, this is Connor Croft. That's the storm back up in South Dakota right now. It's not tornado warned. I'm just trying to see if we have any sort of live shots on the Iowa storms. Just give me 1 second. Thank you, Xander, for the $5 super chat. Do you think this will be powering all the way into eastern Iowa? I think it will at least make it there, but I don't know if it's going to be as intense as it is right now. I think it'll weaken a little bit as it moves in that direction, but there will definitely be at least some level of damaging winds. It probably won't be as high, though, as what it is like right now, for example. So I'd at least be ready, but I wouldn't be overly concerned. Let me go back to live radar here. All right, done looking at my other monitor for now. Again, we're in a robust setup, so I'll have to do some things that I don't always do. My monitor, my laptop, I should say, is very tiny, and I'm trying to look at stuff on there. It's harder to multitask not being in the studio. Funnel Cloud Twins? Is that being reported? Let me check on Twitter real quick. If you guys see any reports on Twitter, you can at me at MaxVelocityWX. I'm waiting for that new wind gust report to pop up near Omaha. If you're just tuning in, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for 90-mile-per-hour damaging winds for Shelby, Avoca, Oakland, and Elkhorn in Iowa. This storm produced a 90-mile-per-hour wind gust at the Omaha airport. And this is one of the reports moments ago. This is right in just east of Omaha. That's at the ASOS, so this would be the airport. So an 87-mile-per-hour wind gust was reported there. That's again for Douglas. That's in Douglas County, right near Council Bluffs. Also, we do have a new severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued for central and southern Iowa and northwest Missouri. That is going to be for damaging winds upwards of 80 miles per hour at times, maybe even up to 90 miles per hour. In addition to that, we'll be watching for the potential of a couple of tornadoes. This goes until 1 a.m. tonight, so it is a long watch. So make sure that you're staying weather aware, have multiple ways to receive alerts. We should be live through a lot of this tonight, so make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. That's the latest here from the Storm Prediction Center. I'm going to check what the exact details are here. Yeah, so here are the exact probabilities from the Storm Prediction Center on this watch. So notice the risk for tornadoes is low. EF2 plus tornadoes very low. I'm not really expecting strong tornadoes out of a line of storms like this. It's not impossible, but it's a pretty low chance. There's a high risk overall of damaging winds, and there's even a high risk of damaging winds that exceed 80 miles per hour, even exceeding 70 to 75 mile per hour winds. There's a low risk of hail, but it's not really the main concern. The main concern at this point is wind. The exact wording is that widespread damaging winds and isolated significant...
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Okay, cut me off. That's cool. We have a new tornado warning. That's going to be for those in Mills, Montgomery, Page, and Fremont counties in Iowa. Make that 4 tornado warnings now in the state of Iowa. So if you are in this warning, seek shelter, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. That is now 4 tornado warnings right now in Iowa. Let me check and see if there's anything on this. Another funnel cloud reported. So that's another report of a funnel cloud. So full-blown mesoscale convective system. And again, I'm not ruling out a derecho with this if it's able to stay alive long enough. Cannot speak. It's very possible because we are talking about, again, widespread damaging winds right now, anywhere from Hamburg, Iowa, back over near Blair. This is a relatively significant wind threat right now that's taking place in the state of Iowa, and we have several tornado warnings, any of which could produce tornadoes at any time. What was I just saying? Oh, yeah, so basically they said in the Storm Prediction Center watch that was issued here, the wording is that widespread damaging winds are going to be likely, and then also isolated damaging winds that are upwards of 90 miles per hour are likely. Isolated large hail and then a tornado or two are possible. So that's the latest. This is the warning that they used. An intense, severe wind-producing bow echo will continue eastward this evening into western and central Iowa and perhaps adjacent parts of northern Missouri. Numerous to widespread severe wind gusts between 60 to 90 miles per hour and perhaps a tornado are going to be the primary hazards with the squall line as it moves into the watch area. Again, that watch is going to be this yellow area here, which does include northern Missouri, central and southern parts of Iowa, and anywhere just along the Nebraska and Iowa border. In addition to that, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in Kansas. We are watching this threat very closely as well, if anything does kind of go crazy. Right now, it's been mostly rural areas that have been dealing with hail and wind. We've had significant hail here in Kansas, just, again, nothing really out of the ordinary at this point. Pretty typical stuff for Kansas, in my opinion. We have a heavily contaminated storm south of Waukene. We are back down to 3 tornado warnings. They have gone ahead and canceled the tornado warning that was including Oakland. We are back down to 3 tornado warnings. A little bit of improvement. I do want to real quickly go to Connor. Connor's on the storm again in South Dakota. It's not tornado,
about to go right under it,
but it is rotating, it looks like,
right,
or at least some broad
edge.
rotation. Bottom right of your screen, that's the complex of storms in South Dakota. Minnesota should also mostly just be isolated wind and hail.
Here's the wind.
Go to Brandon real quick. What's Brandon looking at? This is Brandon Kopic. He's in the same area. This is Corey Gherkin. Corey Gherkin's also I'm in the same area. Connor's kind of really, he's a little bit closer to the storms than Brandon, I think, right now. At least the one, like the ones that are all kind of just forming in the same area near Watertown, bottom right of your screen.
Make the light. Should still be able to turn.
Is it just me, or should none of these be tornado warned?
Should be
Well,
able to
I
make
mean,
that
the 2 that are south here in southwest Iowa, these are both warned for reports of funnel clouds. So, I mean, you know, I don't see anything on radar that makes me think that we have a tornado right now, but we're also, 1, getting closer to a radar hole, and then 2, there have been funnel clouds reported. So, you know, I think the warnings are appropriate. And then also the warning up here, this one had rotation. I think they'll probably end up canceling this one, unless there's something that changes my mind here in the next minute on the base velocities, which I don't think it will. I mean, this is 9 minutes ago, but it just doesn't look like it's rotating anymore. Or at least rotating as much as it once was. They have issued a new severe thunderstorm warning that goes all the way out now, closer to Greenfield and Guthrie Center. So they are now issuing severe thunderstorm warnings well out in front of this line of thunderstorms. It is a very fast-moving cluster, don't get me wrong. But we are talking about a significant wind threat. Hopefully you're taking the proper precautions now. If you're back over in central Iowa or southern Iowa, or even if you're 15 miles out in front of these storms, hopefully you're taking those precautions now, protecting vehicles, bring loose lawn items inside, because we are going to be talking about, again, a significant wind threat here in the state of Iowa tonight. But this is all moving east at about 50 miles per hour. So these are relatively fast-moving storms, moving east and east-northeast at 50 miles per hour. And there you go. They have canceled that tornado warning. So we are back down to 2 tornado warnings now. That's going to be the 2 that are currently in southwestern parts of Iowa. And those are, again, both based off of funnel cloud reports. So those are the 2 tornado warnings. We have 28 severe thunderstorm warnings. We apparently have 3 tornado warnings, which we're technically down to 2. But again, Atlanta Falcons fans, rip in the chat. But yeah, right now we have a lot of warnings. 28 severe thunderstorm warnings. I think we started the stream at 26. By the way, are the sound effects good? Is the sound effect audio good? I haven't really been able to test it. This is the test run. So is it too loud, too quiet, or good? Like whenever a tornado warning gets issued, or whenever we have like a destructive warning issued, does it sound good? Or is it too loud, too quiet? Just need to make sure we're good. And for the record, completely off topic, but I do want to mention we now have a new laptop. We did a whole new upgrade to the traveling weather studio, so we now have a new laptop. We have the light that flashes and all that fancy stuff whenever there's a warning. So some more upgrades to the studio. Appreciate all the members of the channel to make that stuff possible. The new laptop basically is the same rig as our computer, meaning that we can actually stream now when we're going on like a for example, if I'm on a vacation or if I'm traveling somewhere, whatever it might be, I can now go live easier from this laptop. It has all the capabilities as my computer. The only capability it doesn't have is that I don't have all my monitors in the same area. They're all kind of like, I have 4 monitors, you can't see them. I have 1 in the middle, got 1 to the right, got 2 to the left that are, just all spaced apart. So it's not great, but, we're kind of working with it. So, but yeah, another upgrade to the studio, to our secondary studio, technically. Nobody cares about 28-3 anymore? You must be an Atlanta Falcons fan. All right, let me check Twitter and see if we have any more reports here. Is Bellevue done for tonight? Yeah, if you're back over in that area of Nebraska, you should be kind of winding down. The main risk at this point is going to be... let's quickly go to the risk for today. So this is the risk for today. For some reason, things are not shaded in. That is unfortunate. Do I have to... I just do that? Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't have all my settings proper on this. I had to basically put all my Radar Omega settings back onto this laptop, this new one. So I didn't fix everything, but this is the risk for today. So we have an enhanced risk that does stretch from eastern Nebraska back into southwestern and central Minnesota, and as well as southeast South Dakota, and almost all of Iowa is included in this enhanced risk for damaging winds. That's why there is an enhanced risk. It's for wind, it's not for tornadoes. All right, and then we have a slight risk that goes all the way down into Kentucky, Tennessee, and as well as West Virginia. The main reason is because of what we're seeing now, but we're also going to probably see another line of storms later tonight into tomorrow morning. So that's hence why we still have a slight risk that goes all the way down here to the south and east. Again, that does include parts of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and as well as Tennessee. And we also have a risk that goes into parts of Nebraska and Kansas. That's mostly going to be for wind and hail. Now, the main concern, again, being wind today, here's that wind risk. They do have it hatched, meaning that we could see damaging winds that exceed 80 miles per hour across Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and even parts of Kansas. Kansas City is not in that hatched wind risk, but I would still be weather aware there. The hail risk is the most significant across this area, predominantly going to be across areas near Sioux Falls with that conditional tornado risk that we are going to be watching. We have an update, nothing new. Okay. And then our tornado risk for today, it's low, it's not 0, but it's a huge tornado risk in general. It's just not like a, a huge risk, if you know what I mean. Like, it's a huge area, it's just not a huge risk. It's just a large 2% tornado risk. Nothing out of the ordinary for today, but it is a large area. Another reason why we're live. But we're more live for the reason being that we have that, significant wind threat that's ongoing in Iowa, which could very possibly be, after this is all said and done, maybe even a derecho. So... no, you never know. We got Connor yapping at the bottom right of your screen. There you go. Big W. All right, let me go back to... real quick. Wow. What is my desktop audio? Is this correct? Do you guys hear that? Do you guys hear the wind? That, like, sound in the background? I don't know if my audio is correct or not. It might be too loud. This is from Jamal on Twitter. You guys did not hear that. Okay, maybe you'll hear it this time. This was out of Omaha when there was 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Let's see if this works.
I understand.
That's the surge of wind coming through. You can't even see. I don't know where he is, but you can't even see, like, 2 cars ahead of him. There was no visibility in Omaha when we had those 80-mile-per-hour winds. That's crazy. All right, let me change off desktop audio so it doesn't go crazy. All right. Audio super quiet on the video. That's fine. Wow, what is Connor looking at? Connor has an unbelievable view right now of a monster. It looks like a monster shelf cloud in South Dakota right now. That is insane.
Pull off in a second here.
South Dakota magic right now. Dude, that is insane.
Looks like I got a little road right up here that'll work.
That is so gnarly.
Yeah, whoa, this is cool structure, chat. This is cool structure, I'm not gonna lie. This is some of the coolest structure I've seen all year, literally.
I would have to agree with that. This is probably top 3 structures that I've seen this year. And we are in South Dakota.
I'm not gonna lie, this is some of the coolest structure I've seen all year. Look at that.
Wow.
Brian, appreciate the gift of membership, brother. Beautiful elevated shelf cloud. Wow.
That is incredible. What does W mean? It means win. Just an abbreviation. Thank you also, Justin, for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Ali, for the $4.99. Back in the before times when there was a tornado, the meteorologist told us if we were ever in the vehicle during a tornado, go under an overpass. That's an awful idea. Maybe back then, but not now. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. Nice. Thank you, Xander, for the $5 super chat. Thank you, North Star, for the $10 super chat. Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you, Maggie, for the $4.99. I don't know where Page County, Iowa is. If we're talking about Southwest Iowa, mostly wind right now. I'm not really seeing any rotation on radar,
All the way across.
which is why I haven't really looked at those storms much.
See it from a couple different
Thank you,
camera
Wendy,
angles
also for
there.
becoming a member. Thank you, Idaho, for the $4.99. I appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you also, Reed, for becoming a maximum velocity member.
Again, this is elevated. Tornado threat on this is pretty low.
This storm is unbelievable. I'm gonna go back. Bottom right of your screen will be the storm that we're looking at right now. It's pretty gnarly. we have a new report. We'll go off Connor for a second. We do have a new report from Hunter Hurley, who's on one of these storms. Let me go over to him real quick. So Hunter Hurley, this is from about 6 minutes ago. There's been periodic funnel clouds with the storms that are currently moving through western Iowa. So this is a shot a few minutes ago. This is another one. So a pretty good view here of at least the leading edge. He's back over on the he's on the Coburg and Villisca tornado warning in southwest Iowa. So periodic funnel clouds. It's basically what we've been seeing, at least out of this activity. So if we do end up getting a tornado, it's probably going to be pretty quick. It's probably going to be like a brief QLCS tornado, if you know what I mean. Do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Creston and Bedford. That is for damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour. Let me quickly turn this on so I can actually see when we have new warnings. They're going to be flashing for the next 60 seconds, but it is what it is. All right. All right, let me go back to Connor so I can hopefully have that.
Like I said,
stop,
I might drop
so you don't
south
have to
in
keep
Clear
seeing the
Lake.
flashing on the screen.
I might continue chasing.
Is it your
this.
birthday? No,
get
it's
to the
definitely not
side.
my birthday.
Because this does not have tornado potential, but it does look really good. Not much tornado potential with this. It just looks cool, which is great, but...
Yeah, I have to agree with Connor. Like, there isn't much tornado
right
potential with
behind
this
us.
storm at all, but it's a pretty cool structure. Like, yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly. Will these storms reach Florida? No. I do have to say, though, Florida could see some crazy stuff next week. And why are these still flashing? Did I click the wrong setting? Do it for 30 seconds. All right, there we go. Florida could have some crazy weather, though, next week. We could actually have a tropical storm or hurricane literally sit, like, in Florida next week. It could get insane. Like, we could be talking about a monstrosity of a flooding threat if the models actually are correct about what could happen next week. I'm not saying it will happen, but it's possible. We might have a video on that tomorrow, actually. Either that or we'll have that. It might also, if we don't have a video on that tomorrow, we'll have a video on the tornado risk that'll happen probably in the Midwest tomorrow. Another slight risk across parts of the Ohio Valley in the Midwest. Lower risk tomorrow comparatively to today. It's more populated though. The tornado risk is just a large 2%. I'm not expecting anything, out of the ordinary. I think it's gonna be a pretty, normal tornado risk. It's just gonna be a couple or maybe a few brief tornadoes. We'll probably be live tomorrow if something does, pop off there. I think it might be interesting. So it is possible that we are live tomorrow. But I am in Florida, so we'll see how that all goes. It could be very interesting next week. And just for what it's worth, I'm going to show you guys real quickly what I'm talking about, because I think you guys might be interested in what I'm talking about. This is the most recent GFS model run. Now, again, this is a bit of an outlier. It's not guaranteed to happen. We might not see a full-blown hurricane, but what we could see is something that literally sits here. This is Monday of next week. The GFS model has a tropical system sitting there for almost 5 days. Just dumping rain along the Florida coastline. Now, this would basically be worst case scenario if something like this did happen, because what would happen is that we could see a full-blown catastrophic flooding threat. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, all right? I'm just saying it's something that's possible. The GFS model showing a widespread like 20 to 40 inches of rain. Again, it's not guaranteed to happen. I'm just showing you just because it is something that is not impossible. I don't usually show stuff like this, but we're getting closer to this being close to the United States. And, it's something to watch for. The European model doesn't show something that sits for as long. It kind of just sits, near Florida on Monday, just dumping showers and, heavy rain. And it kind of moves back over Florida and eventually moves into the Atlantic Ocean. You can't even see it on your screen. And then it intensifies as it moves towards the Carolinas. There's a lot of uncertainty, but if a system does sit somewhere near the Gulf Coast, it could be, very bad next week. So that's unfortunately what we're gonna have to be watching for. As we go into this weekend and into next week. If I don't have a video on it tomorrow, I will have a video on it on Friday, as long as it still remains concerning. I've been reluctant on making a video just about it because there's just been so much hype about it, and there's nothing really to quote unquote hype up about it. But more recently, the flooding threat looks extremely concerning. if something were to sit like that for several days. It could be, I'm not saying it's going to be a repeat of Hurricane Harvey, but the GFS model right now is showing basically what Harvey was, which was just a system that sat off the coast. It's not what you want to see. Bruh. If anyone sees a trampoline on I-80, I'm pretty sure it's mine. I don't have a photo of the damage because I'm not sure where it went. That's what I'm saying, guys. Hatch down the trampolines. Come on. Step up the game. Flying trampolines. I showed earlier in the stream, too, there of somebody literally having at least videotaping a trampoline that went flying down a road. I have a report as of 5 minutes ago that there was a brief tornado that touched down near the Villisca area on this storm. I'm not sure how accurate the report is, just letting you know there was a brief touchdown. Hunter Hurley, who's on the same storm, has said that he's not seen anything. But there was somebody that was saying there was a brief tornado. I wouldn't be surprised by that, to be honest. It's very possible. We could have brief tornadoes happening anywhere in here. I don't see anything definitive showing that, but it's possible. So, what's the dew point? The dew points are insane. It is moist today, to say the least. It is moist. The dew points, apparently 32 degrees over in Creston, which means it might be snowing. Why are there so many saying 32? I guess a lot of these are out. The dew points, though, in general, are in the low to mid 80s. So, it's very humid. We had a dew point reading in like South Dakota earlier of like 84. I'm not sure if it was accurate, but we have actually one still of 82 for a dew point, which is super impressive. What app am I using? I am using Radar Omega. You can download it with the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. It's snowing? I kind of wish it was snowing. Anybody else wish it was snowing right now? Be fantastic. We have a couple of storms in Minnesota that are severe. We got nothing really popping out to me, tornadic-wise, just mostly hail and wind. We're gonna go back to Iowa. We're still watching Kansas, too, if anything does happen there. Let's go quickly while we await any new information here. Actually, do we have another wind gust? Here's another wind gust report. We actually had an 89-mile-per-hour wind gust in Louisville, Nebraska at 5:48 p.m., which is about an hour ago now, back over in Cass County. So significant wind back over there. Again, the main warning that we have is, one, the tornado warning, and then we also have the destructive severe thunderstorm warning for those back over in Avoca and Harlan, which is up to 90-mile-per-hour winds. The new warning that they issued is for up to 80-mile-per-hour winds for the Guthrie Center, Atlantic, and Greenfield areas of Iowa, which obviously Greenfield is an area that did see a pretty intense tornado earlier in the spring. And unfortunately, we have a pretty significant wind threat heading that direction right now. This is Connor Croft, again, storm chasing, back over in South Dakota right now. Pretty crazy storm structure there. Really impressive shelf cloud on the left side of your screen. And this is Brandon Kopic, who you can also watch on YouTube and as well as on Radar Omega. You can watch him on the Radar Omega app with the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. He's on, I believe, I think he's on like the same area of storms as Connor. And then we also have Corey Gherkin, who is also right alongside with Brandon Kopic. So we'll keep a close eye on them.
Of a stretch. I would
Back
say
over to Connor here for a second.
A decent golfer. Max 1, but I'm still decent, okay?
Did Connor say my name, or am I tripping? I wasn't really listening. Thank you, Chad, for becoming a member. Thank you, Rudy, for the super chat. Going to Panama City Beach in 2 weeks. Hopefully there's no hurricane by then, or anything like that. Thank you, Real Iowa, for the $5 super chat. I wish it was snowing. I wish it was, too. I'm telling you. I wish it was. Talking about my golf game. Or if he comes back to Florida for this tropical system, definitely playing another golf match. You're coming to Panama City Beach? No, I was just reading a super chat. No, I'm not going there.
Yeah, we're driving in reverse right now. I'm going about 70 miles an hour.
You have possibly a
reverse, so
video
you
of
guys
a
can see
funnel
the
cloud
storm.
in South
Don't worry,
Dakota?
I'm a trained professional.
I'll show you guys the video here in a second, if I'm able to. Let me go back to radar. Ignore the flashing. I accidentally clicked the wrong button. How do storm chasers make a living? Well, it starts with eating cheese curds. If you eat cheese curds, it means you want storms. That's how it starts. Do you hear Connor? Yeah, I have Connor on my other monitor. I just can't hear him that well. I'm using a different setup today. I don't have like the same equipment as my studio, so we're kind of working with different stuff. It's not the same quality. This is from Clayton Sherman on Twitter out of the Parkston, South Dakota area a few minutes ago. Look at that right there. Possibly a funnel cloud. Maybe even like a... I think that looks like a funnel to me. Like a little dangly funnel. Over in Parkston, South Dakota. Where is Parkston, South Dakota? I need to figure that out first. I don't know where Connor is comparatively to this. Oh, that's all the way back down to his south. I'm gonna tell Connor. Maybe he'll be in shambles. I don't know. One of my viewers just saw a funnel cloud in Parkston, South Dakota a few minutes ago. Retweeted the video on Twitter if you want to see it. Alright. South Dakota? You didn't hear me. Parkston, South Dakota. I think it's to your south. I think it's like southeast South Dakota. Parkston, South Dakota. Just said bruh. South. I think it's like southeast South Dakota.
Bruh.
Unfortunate. Not in the right place today. Am I hearing something on my monitor? Am I tripping? Oh, it's just this. Okay. Bruh. Quote of the day. Bruh. Today has been a bruh all around. I'm retweeting another photo on Twitter of another displaced trampoline. It's in the Lost and Found collection back over in Lincoln, Nebraska. Over in Gretna, Nebraska from Chris on Twitter. We also have flying fences and a flying trampoline both happening on the same day. What is happening? I mean, like, guys, I feel like we've done a great job here of advertising Hatch Down Your Trampoline. At least at that. I mean, you can't do much about fences, but like, we got trampolines and flying fences on a Wednesday. This is not appropriate. Brother. This is, I mean, this is a bruh moment all around. Retweeting that on Twitter too. Why are there so many flying trampolines? I've seen at least 6 of my feet in the last like 20 minutes. It's getting out of hand. All right, let me get back to live radar. If you're just tuning in, again, we are dealing with a relatively large-scale, mesoscale convective system moving across the state of Iowa right now. Again, the main concern overall is damaging winds anywhere from 60 to 90 miles per hour. It is still a relatively significant threat, even if this isn't quote-unquote a derecho. We are still talking about significant damaging winds as this continues to move to the east. There is still a tornado warning for 8 more minutes near Villisca. I don't think they're going to continue that one unless something does, change with that storm, but so far nothing really has looked that significant with that storm in particular. And so again, if we see anything in terms of any photos or videos of a shelf cloud or anything here, I'll let you know. I haven't seen anything clearly, at least on the traffic cams, but we are still talking about a pretty significant wind threat. This does feel pretty outflow dominant right now, so I'm not sure if this is going to last a super long amount of time. Let's go to the future radar on the Radar Omega app. You can use these computer models if you're a subscriber on the app. This is what we're looking at for the timing for tonight. So again, 8-9 o'clock tonight, storms are going to be approaching Des Moines, Emess, and as well as back through areas along Interstate 35. By 10 to 11 o'clock, we'll likely have that cluster of storms continuing closer to areas in southeast Iowa, right near Interstate 80. This should be mostly a wind threat, and it will probably be a lowering wind threat as it gets across Interstate 35. We'll also have another cluster of storms just to the west and north of Kansas City. The main concern there is going to be damaging winds. If this does make it to Kansas City, I'm really mostly just concerned about wind. I'm not really concerned about a tornado threat or really even that concerned about hail. After midnight tonight, storms will continue to move to the east, eventually overnight into early Thursday morning. These storms will probably die out as they move into the Midwest, and then we should start to see some reinitiation across both the Midwest and the Ohio Valley on Thursday. If you want more details on what's going to happen tomorrow, you can watch my video from today. I'll probably talk more detail about it later in the stream, but if you want more details about tomorrow, you can go back and watch my video from earlier today. I'm watching you on my Switch. That is interesting. I didn't know you could even do that. I know people, I've seen people apparently watch me on VR headsets before. It's pretty interesting. Next thing you know, you could probably watch me from your screen in your car. If you got one of those special cars, you have a screen. You Costco for the $9.99. I'm glad I could help. Yeah, good reminder too. If you're in any of these areas in Iowa, make sure that you're charging up devices. Make sure you have flashlights on hand, ready to go in case you do end up, going under a situation where you lose power. There have been a lot of power outages, at least in Nebraska. We've had a pretty hefty amount of power outages thus far. Currently only 35,000 without power. I don't buy that number. For some reason, it actually, I don't know. I feel like these numbers are higher here near the Nebraska and Iowa border, but I could be wrong. I think the power outages are higher. Let me check Radar Omega. I think it says the same thing though. All right, this makes more sense. All right, Radar Omega, I think, is more updated. 185,000 people are without power right now in Nebraska. So about 30% of the state is without power. Wow. That's wild. That's a lot of power outages. It's a good reminder. Charge up devices, plug in phones, do all that sort of stuff. It's not a number you want to see. Iowa right now is at 4,000, but the storms have literally just moved into Iowa. Let me turn off power outage map here. Anything heading towards Wichita? Not really right now. I mean, you might get some storms later. I'd be mostly just concerned about isolated damaging winds. Nothing too crazy down there. Really, the main concern right now is this line of storms moving across Iowa. And then also the storms in South Dakota we're watching closely, and the ones also in Minnesota. And Kansas. We're still watching Kansas. We're not, leaving you out of the picture here, but it should be mostly a wind threat there. We are going to be posting updates, by the way, on Twitter, photos, videos, all that. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, that is at Max Velocity WX. Do have a new severe thunderstorm watch that has just been issued. That is going to include southern Minnesota, a couple counties there in western Wisconsin, and then also back over in eastern South Dakota near Watertown. Main concern is going to be damaging winds and hail, and then maybe an isolated tornado or two. Let's go back to Connor real quick. We'll go back to Connor. He's in South Dakota right now. I'm gonna have to change this over. We have no tornado warnings anymore. The tornado warning in Iowa was just allowed to be canceled, so we no longer have a tornado warning.
Cooking.
Let's get some W's in the chat. No tornado warnings.
I submit my resignation. No, Chappie. Channel's going downhill. Chappie is resigned. Oh, dang, what are these low-level clouds doing? What are you guys doing? No. Bro, these dumb low-level clouds are
There's a couple little dangly areas there in the middle of Connor's screen.
What the Sigma? Look at all this bull crap.
That is an What the Sigma moment.
To ruin the party here.
Thank you, Cyclonic, for the $2 super chat.
Low-level clouds. Lady J, thank you for the super chat.
Possibly a random tornado near Louisville. A 739 radar scan. Now I'm curious.
Seriously, can these low-level clouds like go away?
Let's go to radar real
take
quick.
The one thing we have, which is
So this is back over near Louisville, Kentucky. It's like a little storm here. 739. How long ago is that? This scan? Yeah, it's this scan right here. Maybe a brief little tornado near King's Store. It's like a little couplet right there. It really occludes fast. Huh. May have just had a brief tornado there. No C. I didn't see a CC drop when I went back, but might have had something. All right. Just stay zoomed out. Let me go back to chat. Thank you, also Soccer, for the super chat. Eastern Iowa will be mostly just a isolated damaging wind threat tonight. Thank you, Jack, for the $10 super chat. I don't know where that is in Iowa. But again, main concern across Iowa will be damaging winds and maybe an isolated tornado or two. Basically, the entire state of Iowa has to be ready for damaging winds tonight. Even if you're back up here to the north, like there's nothing there right now, but we could see some storms initiate and form into a cluster and move across the state. We could see a secondary line of storms develop, and that would be later this evening if that does happen. Nothing looks imminent, but that's something that we'll be watching for. The main concern is going to be this cluster, but we could get a second one that forms off to the north. Not a guarantee, but it is something that we'll be watching for. Again, Connor Croft and most of the storm chasers are on these northern storms right now. Maybe quickly go to Corey Gherkin bottom right. Actually, let's just go to Corey Gherkin full screen real quick.
McGarrett or Rizzler DL.
This is Corey Gherkin's view. He's right on a lake right now. We also got Brandon Kopic out here. Again, Brandon Kopic on Radar Omega and on YouTube. That's his live shot. Is that a bird or is that a drone? I couldn't tell. Will Chicago get an enhanced risk tomorrow? I highly doubt it. Thank you, Tyler, for the $5 super chat. It won't be probably the same intensity. I would probably just expect damaging winds between 60 to 75 miles per hour. I don't think it'll be much higher than that. Hall of Fame game tomorrow? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Where is that? Is that in Canton, Ohio? They just issued a severe thunderstorm warning on the storm that Brandon Kopic's looking at. Let's go back to here. Canton, Ohio. I don't think the weather's gonna be too bad there tomorrow. We might get a line of storms though, so something to watch. As a friendly reminder, if you're just new to the channel or just tuning in, make sure to subscribe down below. It's the red button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. We are currently 170 subscribers from 353,000. Make sure to like the stream as well. I'll try to answer some questions if there's nothing really crazy happening, because I don't see anything like imminent for a tornado threat. It's a lot of wind right now. So if you have questions, feel free to plop those in the chat. I'll try to answer some of them. And if you have any photos or videos on Twitter, again, you can at me at MaxVelocityWX. We have another mesoscale discussion. This is a very small one in central Kansas. This is a favorable corridor for large hail and severe wind for the next couple of hours. So a little small area there, just south of Hayes in Kansas. See if we have any photos or videos here on Twitter real quick. Dude, if I see another flying trampoline photo, I'm gonna start making posters and putting them on in every single street sign saying, hatch down your trampoline. I've seen, I think, at least 8 or 9 different flying trampolines in my feed. This is from Kyle on Twitter. Look at that branch just fall down. In real time. And that's in Lincoln, Nebraska. That's where we had damaging winds that were observed between 70 to even up closer to 90 miles per hour. Flying trampoline shirt. We're supposed to have a new one coming out soon. Supposed to have a new one coming out soon. Also, thank you, Shelly, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Thank you, Rogue, for the $1.99. You saw the movie Twister. It's good. I have not seen the Twisters movie yet. I don't know if I'm going to. Like, I don't know when I'm going to. I think I will, but like, I just don't know when. I'm not really like a big movie person. Like, even like, I've watched 3 movies, I think, in the last like 5 years. Like, personally, I'm not a big movie person. So I'll probably watch it. I just don't know when. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend if the weather's quiet. Maybe we'll see. Like, I can't watch anything that's longer than 5 minutes unless it's like a live stream. I don't know why. Don't watch Twisters, it's horrible. I've heard everybody saying it's good. They have added a tornado possible label to the southern storms here in southwest Iowa near Creston and Bedford. So just a little heads up there. Freddie McKinney is heading home. He had 4 hours of sleep. That's a rip. I talked to Freddie McKinney on the phone last night for literally like an hour and 15 minutes he was just driving home from Nebraska, like the Nebraska chase that he had yesterday. We were literally talking on the phone for like over an hour. Like, it was my longest phone call I think I've ever had. Or at least my second longest. I think my longest was over 2 hours talking to somebody. I'm telling you, I can have a conversation with anybody probably for like 5 hours. It's a crazy trait to have. It's pretty insane. Who is singing? Is that Brandon? I don't know who was just singing. Might have been Brandon. I don't know if you guys heard that. I think he was just singing. This guy going full acapella mode. Brandon Kopic, everybody. It's Brandon Kopic for you. He's hilarious. All right. Singing Trampoline Wednesdays? Absolutely. Singing Storm Saturday. That's the new one. Storms sing on Saturdays, apparently. Dude, this is obviously fake. But bro, Somebody made this. Make sure to hatch down your trampolines when severe weather occurs. You'll be fined if we see a trampoline on roads. Fine amount is $3 grand. Wow. Sponsored by Radar Omega. I just don't think so, but that's pretty funny. Thank you, John, for the super chat. It's that spot forming south of St. Peter, Minnesota. I need to find where that is. I'm not really going to look up locations too much, but if it's quiet, I'll look stuff up. I'm guessing you're talking about this? Or are you just talking about the storm itself? If you're talking about this is just the outflow boundary. As long as there's an outflow boundary and storms are north of it, this should be predominantly just wind and hail. There won't be much of a tornado risk. We do have a little report here of multiple trees being down. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. But mostly just a hail threat right now, a little bit of wind. Freddy is going to be hitting Culver's at some point. Freddie McKinney's going to go get some Culver's. Maybe that'll explode storms, who knows. I think I'm the only one that can do it, though. I think I've proven time and time again, if I eat cheese curds, we get big storms. I don't think it works for anybody else. And I've not had cheese curds in a while. It's been a few weeks. I think the last time was before the derecho in the Midwest, I think. I can't remember, but it might have been. You use that trampoline image in your live streams? There's no shot I'm using that. There's no shot I'm using that. Bro, I don't know if Radar Omega is going to see that, but I might be shocked. Sponsored by Radar Omega. That's wild. A crazy statement to put on that graphic. Which derecho? We have one every month? Don't really have one every month. I mean, during this time of the year, you know, complexes of storms like this, they're more common. But at this point, again, more of a damaging wind threat. We might get an isolated tornado or two. I don't think this is going to be a derecho, unless this holds together. I don't know if the winds are still as high as they're advertised, because the warning is still up to 80 to 90 mile per hour winds. I don't know if it's really that high, though. Like, you know, looking at radar, you can only see so much. They downgraded this warning to 60, but granted, the worst of the wind's going to be here. So I'm not sure. If it gets downgraded further, this might already be winding down. Like, not winding down entirely, just overall the wind threat is potentially just so outflow driven, because it looks very outflowy now. It wasn't as outflow, you know, driven as before. Like, before it looked less outflow driven, if you know what I mean. So. Thank you, Matthew, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you, Ryan, for the $4.99. I was looking for the Des Moines Metro. Probably just going to be mostly a damaging wind threat, 60 to 75 miles per hour. I don't know if it's going to be really higher than that, because this, again, does appear more outflow driven. But we'll see. Let me go to satellite real quick. This is satellite imagery. Let's go to infrared. And just see how these storms have exploded. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. There's a view of everything. This was one of the mesoscale convective systems we had earlier today at the bottom right of your screen. And then everything else is what we've been seeing over the last few hours. We've even had some storms trying to blow up back over in Texas today, which is not something that you see too often, even in July. So it's been interesting. It's been interesting. How many Diet Cokes do you have on ice? I don't have any Diet Coke actually right now. Guys, I told you, I might be going on a Diet Coke diet starting tomorrow. I don't think I can do it tomorrow, but we're going to gradually kind of sink into it, you know? We're going to gradually sink into that diet. That means I have, like, somebody mailed me a 12-pack of, like, mini Diet Cokes, and also I have a 2-liter of Diet Coke. It's just going to be sitting there, I guess, for, like, the next few months, so. By the way, I have not asked you guys this yet, but do you guys like the bottom of the screen with the warnings and stuff, like, where it says severe thunderstorm warning and it shows the counties? Do you guys like that? Is it too big, too small, too much of an eyesore? Like, let me know in the chat if you have any feedback on that. Very bottom of the screen. I'm not talking about when the alerts pop up. I'm talking about, like, that new feature at the bottom. Everybody's saying it looks good. All right. Too small? I honestly think it's too big. Like, a little too small. Everybody's saying it's too small. It looks good, I think. Like, again, we're not talking about the alerts that pop up. We're just talking about the very bottom, like, scroller, where it shows the different warnings and stuff. I almost thought about making it so it would actually show what, like, you know, hazards it has, too, like, those storms, but... Like, the alert that just popped up on screen, do you guys think that's too small, too big, or just right? That alert that just popped up. We're doing some adjustments. We're making sure everything looks good. A lot of people saying... Some people say too big, some people say too small. There's no balance in this chat. I was going to equalize. Different text. Oh no, it is. I mean, the counties are a little bit small. Maybe we can like increase that a little bit. I can increase the font, I think. Oops, let me try increasing the font real quick. Font size is 18. We're gonna up it to 22. We're gonna preview a severe thunderstorm warning if it works. Maybe it won't. All right. I increased the size a little bit, so whenever the next warning comes through, we'll see what it looks like. Just had a wind gust report of 59 miles per hour at Atlantic Airport, just south of Interstate 80. So, again, I don't think this warning is accurate. I think the winds are probably lower than 80. It just looks really outflowy now. It does not look as impressive. Further reminder, today's stream is brought to you by Radar Omega. If you need a weather app to stay ahead of the storms, you can download Radar Omega on iOS and Android with the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. It is a fantastic weather app, comes with tons of features like the live radar feed, cyclone ports, which are the live cameras across the country. We do have a live camera just north of Kansas City that we'll be keeping a close eye on. Might take a second to load up here. Try refreshing it, or it might even be down, I'm not sure. But we have several live cameras across the United States. They have dozens of them, especially back over in Tennessee. You can watch people, I guess, on the lake here, back over in northwest Iowa, having a good time. They don't have any storms in the area. But again, you can check this app out with the iOS and Android, in the iOS and Android store with the top link in the description below. Other features do include live storm chasers that are live inside the app. You also got computer model data and satellite imagery if you are a subscriber on the app. So make sure to check it out. iOS and Android, that is Radar Omega, with the top link in the description below. I remember that camera. We use that camera actually pretty often. All right, they have downgraded the warning. It's now down to 60 miles per hour, so kind of makes sense. Good news if you are in central Iowa. Hopefully that weakening trend does continue. Still got some storms here in Kansas as well, right near the Interstate 70 corridor near Salina. I'm going to see if we have any live cams here out of curiosity. Have we had a new warning alert pop up? I haven't been looking. I don't know if it's too large now. Let me just try to... I'm going to play a test alert and see if it comes through or not. Alright, test alerts are not working. Maybe the alerts have just broke after I did that. I don't know. Alright, let me try to do what I was trying to do, though. I'm going to see if we have any live shots in Kansas of this storm. 200,000 customers without power?
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Okay. Do have a new tornado warning in South Dakota. That is for Hutchinson County. I'm not sure if the alert popped up there. I can't seem to check. Did the alert pop up on screen there? I might have broke it. It's working. Oh, okay. All right, I see it now. All right, we're good. All right, cool. All right, new tornado warning in South Dakota. That is just to the southwest of Sioux Falls. I'm pretty sure this storm has had a history of producing funnel clouds. Right now it is radar indicated rotation. Currently just kind of really just dragging to the northeast. That's near Freeman, Menno, Kaler, Tripp, north of Scotland. So if you are in this tornado warning, seek shelter, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building. As this does continue to move northeast, it is, again, just southwest of Sioux Falls right now. So, new tornado warning in South Dakota. Thank you, Trust. I appreciate that. I meant to open that up on stream, but I for whatever reason I didn't. I don't know why. That was like the one package I didn't open up on stream. I do appreciate that. I remember seeing your message too on the Amazon note. I appreciate that. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't put that. I don't know why I didn't show that on stream. Cannot remember why. Yeah, let me see here. We're also going to check South Dakota, see if we have any live shots as well. Let's check in Kansas, though, real quick to see if we have anything. All right, we don't have anything in Kansas. Let me check South Dakota. Hunter Hurley asked if I got Culver's. I did not. Did not get Culver's today. I got Sonic. Very mid, by the way. You know what's up with the METAR temperature saying it's 32 degrees? I have no clue. I'm guessing it's either an error or I don't know. It's probably something just funky. It's obviously not legit. I mean, if the temperatures right now were in the 30s, we would have winter storm coverage right now. Probably, at least. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. It's kind of a weird one. Alright, here's the latest scan back over in Iowa. Again, we are still looking at mostly a wind threat. I'm going to probably stay here for now and see if anything does develop. It's predominantly just damaging winds up to 60. As this continues to move east-northeast. Dude. Barton. Oh my goodness. I'll show you guys something in a second as long as I was not able to. I'll show you guys something pretty funny in a second. Yeah, they are METARs, so it's possible they're under maintenance or something too. Broken some? Yeah, this is honestly, it looks so outflow driven. It just looks horrendous now. It looked honestly way worse than Omaha. Like Omaha probably got the worst of this. So, yeah. You look like Sketch. Dude. I don't know why I read that. This is certainly a bruh day. It really is. This is a bruh moment. Tornado warning doesn't really look that impressive. I'm guessing there was like a funnel cloud or something, honestly. This is from Barton on Twitter. Bartonologist. Dude, this man has a shelf cloud rolling in. I don't know where this is, but yeah, I think it's probably in Iowa. Yeah, you got a triple-decker shelf cloud. You got an air. I mean, this photo goes hard. You got a triple-decker little shelf cloud here. You got an airplane in the middle of this. I don't even know if Brandon saw that. You got sprinkler heads going off. You got a golf course. I mean, this photo just goes insane. Like, there's so many funny things with this. I'm pretty sure this is in Iowa. I could be wrong, but somebody just said Florida. There's no shot this is Florida. Oh man, that's funny. That photo though, I'm telling you, that just goes hard. So many things with that. That's in Jacksonville, Florida? That is in Florida. Dude, what? Since when was there a triple-decker shelf cloud over? I mean, this is in Florida, apparently. That's crazy. I can see some palm trees in the background. That makes sense. Dude, that's wild. I thought that was Iowa. What's even happening in Florida today? Is there something happening? This right here is producing that shelf cloud. Wow, that's absurd. Wow. That's mind-boggling. That's so funny. That might be my favorite photo I've seen this year of just that's so fun. I mean, that's just such a funny photo. So many funny things with that. Thank you, Trust. Appreciate that. I don't think I've received it yet, but I'll definitely keep you posted. If you sent it like a week or two ago, hopefully it didn't get lost in the mail or something, but if it was more recent, then I probably just haven't gotten it yet. Rotation south of Anita, Iowa. I'm not really seeing much rotation. This kind of just feels like contamination near Corning. The Anita stuff doesn't really look like rotation either. Mostly just looks like wind. I mean, I wouldn't rule out a brief spin up somewhere in this area. It would just be pretty quick and weak, probably. Wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, if you know what I mean. Hey, by the way, like for the $4.99, appreciate that. Hey, Ryan for the $4.99. I think I read that one. All right. 74 mile per hour winds in Salina, Kansas. Is that so? I was kind of hoping to get a live cam out of Salina. They usually have live cameras. Yeah, 74 mile per hour wind gust at the Salina airport there in Kansas. I'm gonna go back and see if we have a live shot here in Kansas or not. There are a few cameras in Salina. I kind of like looking at these. Usually get a pretty good view of something. Oh man, Freddie McKinney might be going in for a full-blown intercept on that tornado-worn cell in South Dakota. By the way, Freddie, if you're watching the stream, just let me know. I can just, instead of texting. All right, where is Salina? It's right here. There's a couple of live shots in Salina, seeing if we have any view of anything. There are cameras out along the interstate there in Kansas, so power outage is definitely possible. By the way, as a reminder, don't message me on Twitter for photos and stuff, because I just don't check DMs. I get too many for random stuff. Alright. Pretty cool how close you guys are. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I don't even work with Freddie. Like, literally, we don't work together. Like, he's not on my stream or anything like that. At least yet. We might work something out in the future, but like, you know, honestly, I'd rather just have a good friend than anything else. I don't really care too much about the whole business side of things. But he's really chill. We talked for literally over an hour last night, just about random stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff. I mean, Connor Croft came to Florida literally for a week. We're on, you know, a vacation, pretty chill stuff, you know. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty tight-knit community for sure. Tried downloading Radar Omega Play Store, is being dumb. Nice. Honestly, iOS drives me nuts sometimes. Like, I have so many passwords for different stuff, and like iOS in particular, like I can never get my password right, and it doesn't let me do like past passwords, so I have to make like new ones all the time. It's so annoying. Like, I don't write down my passwords. I just guess them. Tornado warning already? We've had a ton of tornado warnings. We have one in South Dakota right now. To be honest with you, like, I don't really see much on this. I'm guessing there was a report of a funnel cloud or something like that. It's very possible that this is similar to what we saw a few weeks ago in Iowa, where there were like a ton of storms that didn't have rotation on radar, but we kept seeing small little tornadoes that dropped. If you guys remember that stream, it was like probably 3 weeks ago. It's possible something like that's happening here. but nothing really definitive on radar. Nothing confirmed on radar. I haven't seen anything officially visually yet either. Connor doesn't think it should be tornado warned. I just heard him say it. Why is that tornado warned? That is so stupid. It's about word for word what I just heard him say. Where's the tornado warning? It's in southeast South Dakota right now. It's near Tripp and Kaler. This is for Hutchinson County, South Dakota. Looks pretty sloppy on radar. Yeah, the line of storms in Iowa is pretty sloppy. This up here in South Dakota, it's very hit or miss right now. I'm not seeing anything, that absurd with this activity. How's it going? Mushroom, welcome back. This is a crazy photo. This is from Cam out of Des Moines, Iowa. I don't know if this is like right now. If you're like in Des Moines, definitely let me know. But this photo is crazy. This is a shelf cloud, triple decker shelf cloud rolling into the Des Moines area. If this is indeed what's happening right now, which I think it is, but it's pretty crazy. No, I doubt there's gonna be that many tornadoes tonight too. Yeah, I already said that. Like, it's a pretty low risk. It's all mesoscale convective systems. Now, if we did end up having more discrete cellular activity today, I think today could have been crazy, but none of that really happened. Like every storm that we've had so far today has been predominantly just, lines of storms and whatnot. So thank you, Carla, for becoming a 1-month member. Appreciate that. Or sorry, thank you, Karis. I don't know why but the chat is so small. I'm sorry. Thank you, Karis, becoming a 1-month member. Ah. Make it larger? What are we talking about? Let's real quickly go to Connor real quick. Or we'll go to Brandon first. This is Brandon Kopic on Radar Omega and on YouTube. He's on the northern storms in South Dakota. I believe he is moving away from them and going southbound.
Yep.
So, pretty sure that's what he's doing. They have updated the warning in South Dakota. It is still radar indicated. Let's go to Connor real quick. Connor, I think, is doing the same thing. I think he's going to be going southbound. So all the storm chasers seemingly going south now. Probably won't have a view of anything crazy for a while, but driving through rain and whatnot. The tornado warning was updated. No longer includes Kaler. Still includes Olivet, west of Menno, south of Clayton, and southwest of Freeman. Main concern, again, being the potential for an isolated quick tornado. Brandon Kopic and the crew, absolutely. Des Moines is awesome to go to. I love it here. What is there to do in Des Moines? I've never been to Iowa. I've never been to Nebraska, Iowa. Like, I've never been to any of those states out there. The state fair. Okay. The state fair. I think almost every state has a state fair. Gotta be honest. Let me try to, real quickly, let me zoom into the chat here so I can see it more. There we go. All right. Have I been to Kansas? I have not been to Kansas, no. I've never been to Kansas. Never been to Kansas. Been to Texas. I've been to Oklahoma. Never been to Kansas. I have issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for those in Greenfield, Winterset, Guthrie Center, just west of Des Moines. It's going to be for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. You don't like corn? Iowa has lots of it. I know Iowa has a lot of corn. It actually increases the dew point in the summertime. That's why it's so humid there all the time nowadays. Funnel cakes here are better than all the states. That's what everybody says about cheese curds in Wisconsin. Thank you, Jewel, for the $2 super chat. I don't think Chicago's going to see much tonight. I mean, the only way you get anything would be from this. I think this line of storms is going to weaken before it even gets to Chicago. This is what the future radar looks like for tonight. So again, going throughout the next several hours, kind of falls apart as it gets closer to Davenport, and then after that, it's just fizzling out. I mean, like, there's a chance that this goes a little bit further north and actually goes towards Chicago. The HRRR showing it dropping to the southeast with the northwesterly flow. Makes sense, but we could still see this go towards Chicago, and if it does, it'd just be isolated damaging winds tomorrow morning. So I'm not super concerned, really. I don't see anything that looks too crazy there. And then tomorrow, I said this before, but tomorrow could be interesting. Like, we could get an interesting tornado threat in Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. We'll probably end up being live tomorrow if the tornado threat is interesting. So we'll see. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure yet. Tomorrow's tornado risk could be interesting. I like covering the Midwest, and this tornado threat in particular just feels interesting. Even if it's only at 2%. Spinning right near a low pressure system just feels like something interesting will happen. So we'll see. I'm not sure yet, but we're keeping it in the back of our heads in case something does happen. Have I been to Chicago? I have not been to Chicago. Do not have Culver's. I don't plan on it right now. Thank you, Thread, for the super chat. Do you ever cover the Southeast? I cover whatever's, like, you know, needed to be covered. So, like, we've covered the Southeast before. Thoughts on Friday for Ohio? Not too concerned right now for Friday, to be honest. It'll probably be a dumbed down version of what we saw, or what we'll probably see tomorrow when it comes to the mesoscale convective systems that'll happen in, like, Indiana and Illinois. Hey, Cheyenne, for the $5 super chat. I wouldn't be concerned about tomorrow. Like, tomorrow, again, not a day to be concerned about. Like, you know, if, you know, we might go live, right? It doesn't mean it's concerning. We don't always go live for quote unquote concerning days. The wind threat is really what you're gonna have to watch for in Indiana. Like, the tornado threat, it's gonna be a pretty small, it's a large area, but it's really just a, you know, in general, it's a small threat. It's gonna be a large area from Wisconsin back into central Indiana. Once again, though, I think the bulk of this activity that does go tornadic will probably be right in here. And even then, these are going to be tornadoes that are, like, quick and brief. Like, they're not going to be long-tracked tornadoes. At least that's what I'm thinking, at least for tomorrow. So that's my forecast. But I'll have a forecast tomorrow morning, probably talking more about that in detail. If we don't, then I'll have a video on that potential tropical system tomorrow morning. But again, we'll kind of play it by ear. We'll see. Somebody sent me this photo. I've got to agree. I don't have these photos. This is blurry, but I don't have these photos on my laptop yet. They didn't transfer. I don't think it's a gone forever risk today, but it's probably like a high risk for flying trampolines on this wacky weather Wednesday. How's it going, Jess? Where's the tornado warning? It's in South Dakota. For 10 more minutes. Not really too concerned about it. Not too concerned about it. How will Kansas City be tonight? It'll be pretty 50-50 if you see severe weather. Again, you could see some damaging winds. That's about it. Won't be anything too out of the ordinary. If I donate $30, can you buy some Culver's but only cheese curds? Sure. I mean, I'm probably going to go to Culver's at some point in the next, like, you know, week or two anyways. But I mean, just for cheese curds, I mean, I'm in. Go right to Culver's just for cheese curds. Easiest $30 donation I'll ever get. We're about to get no's in the chat and everything. People are going to be so angry now. Is it breaking up already? The storms in Iowa, yeah, they're kind of falling apart. They are going to probably still produce damaging winds all the way into Des Moines, though. Try to see if we have any live shot in Des Moines area of this shelf cloud or not.
What are you thinking about today's setup, Max?
Am I thinking about today's setup? Connor's asking what I think about today's setup. This setup has been extremely mid, as I said like 6 hours ago. I don't know why I went live, but we're live.
Wait, you're live right now?
Connor doesn't know I'm live.
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude. I guess there is one tornado warning though.
There's one tornado warning. Well, I went live for the storms at Omaha, so I mean the storms at Omaha were interesting. After that, this like complex in Iowa is just like dying. Like the only thing that's interesting now is I would basically say Iowa, but even then it's been pretty mid.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad that I like left Nebraska, but what happened down there was like I feel like that was supposed to happen up here, and I don't know. But yeah, everything's kind of just dying, and everything is dying when it's supposed to be ramping up. It makes no sense. It's kind of driving me insane.
For the record, I was ready to go live at like 1 o'clock today if something happened, and nothing happened. So, you know, it's been one of those days where you just wait for something to happen, and then something happens, and it's just mid. I'm glad you're live. I don't mind going live. I mean, like for what we went live for the really more for Omaha, and then after that it kind of died out. So I'm not like, you know, not saying I didn't want to go live. I'm just saying like in general, like I would have been live for that for sure, which I was. But what we're seeing now, like this wouldn't be something I would go live for unless it was more significant. So. Yeah, Connor, I think, got up this morning at like 8 o'clock or something, and he went to bed at like 2 last night.
Yeah, that's literally it. That's it. But I'm probably gonna intercept Culver's here in Sioux Falls, assuming that all these storms continue to do nothing. So I guess that's a plus side for me.
All right, so he's getting Culver's. I think Freddie McKinney is too. I don't think he knows Freddie McKinney's getting Culver's. Freddie McKinney messaged me and said he's getting Culver's too.
Yeah, he was, but now he's kind of by that tornado warning storm that probably shouldn't even be tornado warning. So he might have had a little change in plans.
Heard it there first, but yeah, he's been like awake for like, or he went to bed for like 6 hours. So I think Freddie had 4 hours of sleep last night. So it's been a rough day. Rough day for the storm chasers. All right, let me go back to the Iowa cameras and see what we got going. Culver's curse. I don't think they're going to start the Culver's curse. I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't think storm chasers do it. I think it's just me. If I get cheese curds, it's over. Thank you, Jess, for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you, Brian, also for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Let's get some W's in the chat for all the super chats and the members today. I do appreciate you guys. Thank you to anybody that has become a member. Really do appreciate it. Again, we just bought a new laptop, full-blown rig now for our secondary studio here. So, you know, more upgrades. We have 4 monitors here. Got a brand new monitor, by the way. I didn't even mention that, but we do have a brand new monitor. It is a 14.4. So we'll be using this in the main studio, but for now it's just here. So another big upgrade. Appreciate all the members of the channel making that possible. Still trying to see if we have any live shot of the storm. We have a camera, but it's going to be a while until we see anything. I kind of wish we had a live view of this shelf cloud that's rolling through Iowa right now. If you guys have any photos of this, at me on Twitter. I'm curious to see if there's any interesting view of this right now. Dude. Alright, tornado warning has now been canceled in South Dakota. Yeah, this storm has now been downgraded. No longer a tornado warning on this storm. Not really seeing anything right now on this. Mostly just wind. A little bit of hail. I have a couple other areas that we're watching too. Another storm moving into very far northern Nebraska. Nothing too crazy there, though. Just hail and wind. The storms in Kansas are mostly just wind and hail producers as well. These are not looking very impressive either. So again, pretty low risk overall right now when it comes to like significant severe weather. Everything's pretty much outflow driven and everything's basically just wind and hail. So that's what we're looking at right now. But if you guys do have any photos of the storm here near Des Moines, Iowa, feel free to at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. All right. What's the outlook of Connor getting stuck today? Man, we've been live all 4 times Connor has gotten stuck in something. He's gotten stuck in mud. He's also gotten stuck in a ditch. I should ask him. that would send him over the edge. Thank you, Annan, for becoming a member, or thank you for the $5 super chat. Yeah, there's a lot of warnings right now. How many are there? I'm not even looking. It's 22. Yeah, there's 22 severe thunderstorm warnings. I mean, to be honest, we had like 27 or 8 at one point, so. Connor's getting stuck at Culver's. Oh, I should ask him. That'd be so funny. What are the odds of you getting stuck at Culver's? Astronomically high. $200,000 without power in Omaha. Let me go back to power outages here. This is the Radar Omega power outage map. You can look at on the app with the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. Got 228,000 without power right now in Nebraska, so that's a lot, and most of them are in Omaha. Those power outages might be lingering for a little while too. Unfortunately, that is a pretty high number. That number's only been increasing. It hasn't really gone down at all, so yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be one of those nights. Probably not going to have power for most of Nebraska, bearing a miracle of power coming back quickly, but that's a lot of people. It's going to take a little bit. And Iowa right now is only at 6,000. So, you know, Nebraska is not doing great. The Iowa storms have definitely not been as intense. Granted, they have been in much more or much less populated areas at the bare minimum. So, might be a reason why we don't have as many power outages as well. The Florida shelf cloud is literally insane. I'm seeing more photos of it. It's crazy. Thank you, Jewel, for the super chat. What are the chances of an enhanced risk tomorrow? I don't think we're going to have one unless something really changes. Like, I kind of doubt tomorrow is going enhanced for anything. If it does, it would be for wind, but even then, I just highly doubt it. We need a gritty sometime tonight. I don't think I can do a gritty in this setup, so I can't technically do a gritty. Usually would have like a gritty goal, but I don't think it's possible for me to do a gritty here. Unfortunately. One of my viewers is asking, what are the odds of you getting stuck in a Culver's area tonight? Yeah, you know, like mud or a ditch or something like that. We're all wondering what the odds are.
0, bro. I'm not getting stuck tonight.
I knew you'd give like a frustrated response. Cost to become a member, it starts from $2.99 a month. It's the join button down below. It's also the second to top link in the description. And we're probably gonna have a members only stream sometime in the next week or two, as long as the weather is a little bit quieter. I don't know if it will be though, because we might have that tropical system that could go kind of crazy. Dab instead? I'm not dabbing. Tell Connor we say hi. Go say hi to him in his stream if you really want. Outbreak stream? I think we're gonna do an outbreak stream for members only. I was hoping that Connor would do it with me, so that's but Connor at this point, he might be traveling down here to Florida for the tropical system, so we might not even have that time to do it. It might be something that happens later in August or something. Freddie McKinney brought up the idea that we should do an Among Us stream with all like different weather people and stuff. That would be hysterical. Like, that would just be so funny. It'd be the funniest stream ever. I probably would have that members only too. I would highly doubt I'd make that public, because I just don't like, you know, random off-topic stuff being public on the channel, but that'd be so funny. Hey, Milena, appreciate that. Hopefully I'm saying your name right, from San Diego. Appreciate you tuning in. You're sleeping on South Dakota? What am I sleeping on right now? Sleeping on a lot of mid. It's like not really anything happening in South Dakota. Like, we got like an organizing MCS that could go kind of crazy tonight, maybe in like, you know, Minnesota, maybe even northern Iowa, but like even then it just doesn't look that crazy. Like just some damaging winds. Sorry, I hit my mic. St. Louis good for tonight and tomorrow. St. Louis will probably have some storms tonight, but they'll probably just be a weaker version of what we're seeing now. And right now it's pretty weak, so nothing too crazy. We'll be live probably up until Des Moines. And if anything's still concerning, we'll stay live. I don't know if we're really going to have to, though. This has been a pretty mid event so far. Aside from what we began with. The beginning of this was interesting. Since then, it's been kind of just whatever. Mostly just a win threat. Thank you, Brandon, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. What's going on in Kansas City tonight? It's going to be kind of 50-50 if you see storms, but if you do, damaging winds being the main concern. You know, we got this outflow boundary moving to the east. Could initiate some storms up here, but it's a pretty tapped into environment, so I don't think we're going to get much. But again, just damaging winds being the main concern. 0 tornado warnings? There are zero tornado warnings right now. That is correct. Wow, this is actually the live radar omega cyclone port near Kansas City. You can actually see the outflow boundary right here. I think that's what we're looking at. That's the outflow boundary. Yeah, the outflow boundary is right here. And that is currently 20 miles away, so that makes sense. Yeah, that's the outflow boundary right there. Can actually see it on the live shot. Pretty nifty. Hey, Hillary, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. How's it going, Ro? Welcome back. I wouldn't be too concerned in Minnesota. It's mostly isolated wind and hail. Tornado threat should be very low. I think the tornado threat across the board is really low. Like, there's just nothing that looks imminent. Again, we could get a couple QLCS tornadoes, but like, there's just nothing that looks really that crazy. It's all outflow-driven storms, and they're all clusters for the most part. We've had a couple of discrete cells in southeast South Dakota, but even these haven't really gone that crazy. They're not really latching to like an outflow boundary or anything like that. Let's move my light. Am I lighting good? I have to change. Give me 1 second. I had to fix my light. If you go off air, can we raid somebody? If Connor's still alive, I'll probably raid him. Just remind me. I might forget. John, it's doing good so far. I haven't had any issues yet. I've been using a lot of memory, though. Go figure. So for those that are computer people, I have 32 gigabytes of RAM in this laptop. My main rig has 64 gigabytes. And so basically what I'm saying is that I need a lot of RAM. If I don't have a lot of RAM, then, you know, we're chalked. I'm not sure what the numbers are right now. Let me just close this so I don't show anything in case it pops up in the middle. All right, didn't. My current memory usage is already at 80%. So, yeah, that's basically almost all my RAM being used already for this stream. So, yeah, that's how it goes. That's normal. It's not normal, trust me. I have a lot of, so basically the thing is I have a lot of like tabs like with videos and stuff for like storm chasers. And so I need basically a lot of RAM. My main rig has 64 gigabytes and it works perfectly. Now I can upgrade this laptop to 64 gigabytes if I need to, which is nice. But this laptop has all of what my main computer has. The only thing it doesn't have really is the RAM, and that's basically it. So, and RAM is not hard to upgrade. It probably would cost maybe a couple $100 or maybe $100 or something. So it wouldn't be anything too crazy for an upgrade if we really need to. For now, it's fine, but I'm guessing in probably about half a year to a year, I'll have to upgrade it because it'll probably start to get, burnt out a bit more, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. But the RAM is definitely a big thing when it comes to streaming. You need a lot of it, especially if you have a lot of storm chasers. Like we have, some of these streams now, we have upwards of 5 storm chasers. We had that on the Derecho stream. Today we have 3. Brandon Kopic, Connor Croft, Corey Gherkin. So, there are going to be some days where we need a lot of, power on a computer to be able to, have that. I'm pursuing my master's? No, I'm pursuing my bachelor's. Only got a year. I got about a year left. Yeah, RAM is not actually that expensive. The other computer parts, like graphics cards and stuff, those things can be very expensive. We actually built the computer that we use. We didn't like buy one. We just built it. Like we used all the parts. My friend built it, and that's how we got our main rig. That's at the main weather studio, and that thing was very expensive. It was more expensive than the laptop I just got by like double. So yeah, it was quite a bit. But my friend that's talking about the RAM, it's $200 to upgrade for 32 more gigabytes of RAM. So we'll only do that if we actually have to. Because this laptop was already expensive to begin with. You don't see Connor on Radar Omega. Yeah, he's not on Radar Omega today. There are a few Storm Chasers on Radar Omega. We got, I'm not sure who that is. I think that's Nick Moore, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's also Vince Walty. I think we got Brandon Kopic somewhere in here. He might be with Corey Gherkin. Yeah, so we got 3 up here in South Dakota. But again, you can watch all these Storm Chasers in the Radar Omega app with the top link in the description below. On iOS and Android. Yo, Sketch, I didn't know you were a weatherman. Get out of here. Probably less just to buy a whole one. No, all right, it's less to actually build one. It's cheaper to build a computer. Now, granted, I was very generous with paying my friend when it came to building it. So, it actually would it costs probably about the same as, buying a computer. But like the one thing I wanted to do really was, one, I wanted to kind of be custom, and 2, I also wanted it to be like a kind of like an experience almost, because we did a members only stream with it too. So we did a whole members only computer building stream, which was like almost 5 hours long. So that was pretty cool to do. So it's cheaper to build in general. We have a lot of good parts on that computer. But probably in about 2 years, they'll be all outdated. Do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Des Moines. Damaging winds up to 60 being possible. Very outflow-driven complex. Again, I'm not really expecting much more for a tornado risk here, but mostly just a wind threat. Yeah, pre-building computers, I mean, it's more of convenience. It has nothing really to do with price. It's more of a convenience thing. It's like saying, oh, I'm going to go to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger. Well, if you cook a burger at home, it might actually be cheaper. I don't know if it actually is, but like a better example is if you go to an Italian restaurant and you want some like spaghetti and meatballs or whatever, it's like, $18. You can make it at home for like $8, that's what, and it's not that much of a difference with computers, but like there is definitely a difference. So. When is Max going to send everybody to Connor stream? I got to set that up. Who else is live? Yeah, we'll do Connor. All right. It's just an example. Spaghetti and meatballs is way cheaper to make than $8 probably, but you never know. Maybe you're using some fancy spaghetti. Maybe you're using some fancy meatballs. You never know. Hey, John, if I got that computer without you building it, how much would it cost? Do you know? I'm actually curious. Somebody just said they built their rig for $2,000 and it would have been $4,000 if they bought it. I'm curious on what the number would be there. Apparently a car crashed into a Culver's location in Green Bay, like crashed into a wall. Somebody just added that up to me on Twitter. It's unfortunate. I don't know if John is still here, but... Alright, he's looking. Did you heard me with the question, right? Do you love your job? I mean, I love doing this. Like, you know, I don't know what else to say. I just love doing it. Like, I go live because I like doing it. It's not like a thing of, you know, it's always been about passion. Like, it literally has been for like 4 to 5 years of me doing it. Like, I've been doing this since like 2019 or so. I haven't been doing YouTube for that long. I've only been doing YouTube for like 2 years now. But yeah, I mean, this is just all passion. I love doing it. That's why I go live as much as I do. And as often as I can. Cedar Rapids, probably just going to be isolated damaging winds by the time it gets there. They actually might drop. We do have a new SPC outlook coming out in a couple minutes. They might end up dropping the enhanced risk to some extent. We'll see. We'll have a new update from them here in a few minutes. He's researching right now, so I'll let you know what the price difference would have been, or at least a percentage on it. What were you on before YouTube? We're on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We still are on Facebook, but we are not like, you know, or we do YouTube way more than Facebook now. What do you plan to do after the degree? Right now it's this. I mean, I'd much rather do this, honestly, than go to TV. So I really have an urge that I want to go on TV, but at the same time, like, I'd rather just do this. It's much more interactive, and it's, honestly, I feel like it's better almost in a way. Like, you're able to cover way more. It's not like a localized market or whatever. It's like the entire country. Will Des Moines get any damage? With what we saw in Omaha, I feel like there will at least be 5 flying trampolines. Alright, so this is kind of crazy. It's a little crazy. So, I don't know how much I spent on the computer. I can't remember. But it was probably $1,000 or something like that for the rig that we have. If I bought it, like, without building it, it would have been upwards of 4 to 5 grand. So, yeah, it's a pretty major difference building a computer. Honestly, it was more fun. I kind of enjoyed it more. I enjoyed building a computer over, you know, just buying one. Like, I bought this laptop. We didn't build it, but it was actually a pretty good deal. So, for what it is. What GPU do I have? I think a 4070 on that computer. I think that this laptop also has a 4070. It's like matching. And then the CPU, I have no clue. But I think it's like an i9 or something. I think this is like a Ryzen 9. I didn't do anything, by the way. I did not build the computer at all. Like, I literally let my friend do the entire thing because I had no clue what was going on. So, I just entertained chat on that members only stream. I have a 4070 Super. That's what it is for a graphics card. It's a Lenovo laptop. I had a Lenovo. I have 2 Lenovo laptops now. One of them is the old one that I used to live stream on all the way until May of this year, by the way. We ran all of our streams off of a laptop for the longest time, and now we actually have a computer. We're on 2 laptops, though, today here in the secondary studio. So, it's very interesting. You are cutting out? That's good. Good times. Am I still coming out? Let me... Test. Alright. See if it's better now. It keeps cutting out. It might just be in general. I don't think these mic settings are right. That's the problem. Yeah, I got some, like, I got weird mic settings. That's my problem. Alright, that might fix it. I'm not sure. Reports of a funnel in Adele, Iowa. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, there's like a couple. I've been kind of looking at this. There's like been a couple little like couplets kind of that are just way out in front of the line. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we had some sort of funnel. This one right here, like near Boonville, kind of looked a bit more interesting. West of Des Moines. Let me see if there's any live shots here. Like, I genuinely would not. I would not be surprised if we have like a funnel cloud here somewhere. There's a couple of live shots. Let's see if there's anything good here. I can actually see this with. I can't really see anything. All these cameras kind of look at the ground. This is like the best live shot that we have, and this one's not even that great. Like, top right of your screen, got very ominous skies up there. That's about it. Nothing really that crazy. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we did have a funnel or something like that. One of these. Couple of small couplets. Nothing crazy. Southern Wisconsin, probably just isolated damaging winds like late tonight to tomorrow night or tomorrow morning. I think tomorrow afternoon will be more of a threat than tonight into tomorrow morning, though. Yeah, if you're still having issues, just refresh. Be good. Waiting for the velocities to update. We might have a tornado. I don't know. It's a little couplet just south of West Des Moines. It's non-precip, and there's no, like... It might just be clear air contamination. The velocity signature is what kind of throws me here. And there are a couple couplets here. South of Des Moines. I wouldn't be surprised at the bare minimum if we had a funnel. Like, that just looks sketchy to me. I really wish one of these cameras would look at this area. Oh, I think we do. I think we have a funnel. Like, legit, I think we have a funnel right now, right there. This is all. That's looking at this storm, I think. Or that might just be Scud. I don't know. This is like the area, though, where we're talking about right now. There might low-key be a tornado on the ground or something trying to drop. These cameras are so blurry, it's always hard to tell. It's at least just Scud. It might have just lifted, too. I don't know. I mean, that couplet is tight on radar. Like, it's non-precip. Usually we have something. But, like, that honestly might be something that should be warned. Trying to see if we can find another camera view here. So just this near West Des Moines. This is live again. Oh, what are we? Cameras. Let's see. I mean, that's what we're looking at there. We have another live. We have a couple more live shots here. Still trying to see if we have any other live shots of the storm. This near Des Moines, we possibly have a funnel. It looks like several, either Scud, it's either a lot of Scud or there's like several funnel clouds there. Just south of Des Moines. Okay, real quickly, this is going back to radar. All right, the velocity's kind of fizzled. We may have just had a brief tornado. Like, I'm not ruling it out. We did have a brief tightening right there. I'm not ruling it out by any means. It would have been very low precip for sure. But, like, that may have just been a tornado or at least a funnel cloud. This is the live shot again here near Des Moines. A lot of scud. I think a lot of this is scud. I'm looking at another camera. This one's looking southbound on I-35. I'm looking at one of my other monitor looking northbound on I-35. And a lot of it looks like scud. But I wouldn't rule out something small there. Thank you, AJ, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. The tornado got shy. Imagine there was a tornado and we literally just missed it. I don't know. I still see some scud there, I think. I'm trying to match them up right now. Like this right here in the middle. Like that looks like scud, but it kind of looks like maybe a funnel. It's just so hard to tell. This is near Des Moines. The wind's really picking up, that's for sure. Definitely windy. Thank you, Bud, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Okay, let me go back to this other camera here. Let's go back to radar. Let's just look at velocities again and whatnot. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything anymore. Again, I wouldn't be surprised though if we just had like a brief tornado there. Still a little bit of something there. It could be contamination now, but
Just out of curiosity, what are your live streaming plans for the rest of the night? Are you gonna wait and see if this secondary line develops, or?
I have to respond to Connor. I think after these storms move through Des Moines, I'm probably done. I'll probably raid you though, so definitely stay alive.
Oh well, okay, I guess that works.
Let's go back to this live camera again. Still watch and see if we can see anything. Still very scuddy lowering. Who was that? That's Connor Croft. Honestly, even if we don't work with Freddie McKinney, we should get him on Zello too. just for fun. Pretty funny. How can I share pictures? You can add me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX or message me on Facebook. Which the links to all that is in the description. This camera's starting to lose some connection, it looks like. Please stay alive for weather. You're the only person I watch for weather. I mean, there's not really much happening. Like, after the storms roll through Des Moines, they're going to kind of weaken out anyways. Like, across the board, the weather's kind of dying out. Now, again, if there's something that we need to stay alive for, we will. I just don't see much right now that looks that concerning right now. And I don't like being live for just quarter-sized hailstorms and 60-mile-per-hour winds, because that's all we have right now, I think. Across the board, Like this storm in Des Moines, like there is reason to believe that we could get like a brief spit up or tornado. That's why that's why we're still here. There's a couple like little couplets that we still got, kind of like a little one over West Des Moines, even though it's kind of non-precip. This is going back to a live camera. A lot of lightning, that's for sure. We've had a few close CGs here. What's Connor's location? I'll let you know in a second once it updates. SPC updates out? Okay. Coleman, South Dakota. That's where Connor is. Yeah, we have a new SPC outlook. It's an interesting one. It's a very interesting one. Here's the latest SPC outlook for tonight from the Storm Prediction Center. We have an enhanced risk across Iowa, southern Minnesota, southeast South Dakota. The enhanced risk has been removed from Omaha. Still a low risk for some isolated wind or hail tonight. Still a hatched area for wind across Minnesota, South Dakota, Iowa, and back through Missouri, and as well as Kansas. The tornado risk is still a 2%, which does not go really far into Kentucky anymore. But again, really low risk overall for tonight. So yeah, not really anything crazy here, to be honest. Kind of to be expected. We'll have another round of storms develop. That's what Connor was talking about. That'll probably develop here, trying to move through like northern Iowa. Like, I don't know. If it gets going quick enough, we might still be live for it. But like, I don't know. It doesn't really. I don't think it'll need a live stream unless something goes crazy. This is what it looks like right now in South Dakota and Minnesota. It's all kind of organizing into a big line now, but it's going to take a little bit of time. Chess, I don't know where that place in Indiana is, but it's mostly just isolated damaging winds overnight tonight to tomorrow morning. All right, we'll have another radar scan here in a second. Let me see if we have another Iowa camera that we can look at. See if we got a view of anything here in Des Moines. Got a little interesting there for a second, I have to say. I honestly thought we might actually have a tornado dropping, and we might have actually had one. It's possible. It's not really where a tornado usually would be, though. It was on the leading edge of the outflow. That's might have even been like a land spout or something that was brief. But yeah, definitely interesting. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. I heard you're a good singer. Will you sing to us? I'm not singing. No, not today. Today's not the day. Thank you, Chris, the other Chris, for also the $5 super chat. Oh, you tagged me on photos of it? Okay, let me check that out. Yeah, it was pretty hard to see. It was just kind of came out of the corner of my eye. It was interesting. Yeah, a little bit of scuddy rotation, it looks like, from what I'm seeing on Twitter. I definitely wouldn't rule out, though, at least a lowering or maybe a quick tornado, something like that. Brandon has a cool shot of the other storm. Let me check. It's the wrong thing. Let's go to, that's Connor. Let's go to Brandon Kopic. This is Brandon Kopic. You can watch him on Radar Omega and also on YouTube. You can watch him on the app with the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. He's looking at a storm in South Dakota right now. Looking pretty spicy. Looking pretty spicy.
Well, it had hope for a second.
Pretty good shot there. Bro, Chris, I have Connor's chat open. So the Chris that just asked if I would sing in the chat went to Connor's stream and just said, I asked Max if he would sing. He sounded mildly annoyed at best. Dude, I literally have the other chat open. I see your message. That's wild behavior. Wow, going behind my back? That's crazy. It's crazy behavior. Man, oh man. I don't even know if Chris is in this chat. He might not even be watching the stream anymore. Like, this guy, he turned on me. Crazy. I gotta type this in the other chat, too. Dude. Alright. Dodge City. Where's Dodge City? Oh, we're talking about this one. The hailcore on the storm earlier was pretty crazy. I don't think it's that crazy right now, though. I have another little, like, almost, it's not really much. It's like a little thing there, northwest of Des Moines, a little bit of rotation. Not much, though. Oh, it's kind of funny, like, if you guys can't see what I'm seeing, but I have the Radar Omega app. That's what we're using, you know, right now in stream. It's right in the middle, like, that's my main monitor. The right monitor right now, that's what I'm looking at now. That's just like my, you know, streaming software. Sometimes I'll look at, like, live cams and stuff. And then my other laptop, which is just kind of for chat and stuff, that monitor that I'm looking at now is chat and my stream, and then I have Connor's stream open on the very far left so I can see what's happening on his feed. So, yeah, I can see his chat, too. Thank you, Chris, for the $5 super chat. Forgive me. I don't know if I can forgive you for that one, man. You went right behind my back. It's crazy. Crazy behavior. That's all good, though. It's pretty funny. Peachy, why are you adding me in his chat? No, don't go into Connor's chat and try to at me. I'm not looking at his chat anymore. Oh, my goodness. And Marissa, why'd you just super chat him? Man, like, what's going on here? Everybody's turning on me right now. It's crazy. This is crazy behavior. Power flash west of Des Moines. Probably just from damaging winds. I don't see anything that looks like a tornado or anything like that. There will probably be power outages, though, in Des Moines, even though it's only 60-mile-per-hour winds. There will probably be at least some power outages. I'm watching on my smart fridge. What? You're watching me on your smart fridge. I didn't even know that was possible. That is some weird behavior. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Yeah, we were supposed to be. We would have been live yesterday. By the way, there was like a brief tornado in like near Evansville, Indiana. We would have probably been live. I just was traveling, so would have been 3 days in a row being live if we were live yesterday. Why do fridges need screens? That's what I'm wondering. Since when do fridges need a screen? It's literally just a handle. You open it up and close it. You know, your fridge could get hacked. It could literally make your food go bad. Like, it's probably possible. To spy on you? Yes, they're gonna spy on what you're eating. That sounds great. Sounds like a great time. Can't wait for them to know I eat McDonald's every day. They can't even spy on me. I don't go into the fridge. Sad reality right now. Well, not really. I mean, I had, you know, today I actually have not had McDonald's. So, big W. Apparently, Connor is right now 15 minutes from getting Culver's. Holy. Got a new severe thunderstorm warning in southern Iowa. Damaging winds up to 60 possible. Yeah, nothing really that crazy anymore. It's been pretty quiet here for the last, like, hour. Stop eating so much garbage. Wow. So you're calling McDonald's garbage? Can't disagree, to be honest. What do you think McDonald's is getting expensive? Yeah, I mean, every place is getting expensive. It's not just McDonald's, like every place has increased their prices. Is there a possibility we could have a moderate risk? No, not today. Tomorrow, no either. If tomorrow's a moderate risk, I don't know what to tell you. That'd be just kind of crazy if that happened. Nothing really looks like it'll be that crazy tomorrow. We have about 250,000 people now without power in Nebraska. That number just keeps going up. We now have about 250,000 people without power in Nebraska. That's almost how many subscribers we have. And then Iowa has about 7,500 right now without power. Friendly reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's the red button down below. Make sure to subscribe. Like the stream as well. If you want to support the page above and beyond, you become a member with the join button down below. It is also the second to top link in the description below. Tons of benefits like exclusive live streams, videos, and much more, and as well as a chat badge. Thank you, Jesse, for the $5 super chat. There was indication that this could be a derecho today. I mentioned this a few days, or I think on Monday when we were live. I talked about it a little bit. Like, I thought today we did have a chance for a derecho. Like last night, the HRRR model honestly showed really, strong signs that there could be some sort of derecho today. Even what we saw, like, an hour ago, like it kind of looked like we might have something that goes a bit crazy. To be honest, though, it didn't really pan out. Like, this line of storms that we have here, that would have been what could cause a derecho, but this thing has just fallen apart entirely. It fell apart so fast. After it went through Omaha, it just fell apart. Like, it just became so outflow driven, and it couldn't really rebound. It's just really, at this point, just a mesoscale convective system. Nothing beyond that. So, and good news, it kind of weakened. It weakened pretty quickly. So, but it was intense, at least through Omaha. Look at the north 141 camera. Mile marker 151. I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking here. Ah, crap. Where'd this go? I'm trying to find this quick. North I A 141 MM 151. Okay. Like in that area. Are you talking about this right here? This is actually kind of a crazy shot. This is the live shot just northwest of Des Moines. That is a very low cloud deck. There's a lot of scud. There's a ridiculous amount of scud hanging from those clouds. Very scuddy. Put this more into a full screen so you can see the entire thing. There you go. Well, very scuddy. Scud madness out here. Thank you, Hole, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. There's a flash of lightning right there. Have you tried Raising Cane's? I've had Raising Cane's, and I've already said it once, and I'll say it again. It's mid. It is mid. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just mid. So that on Twitter. Very controversial, apparently. Don't know why, but it was. seem like a KFC guy. I don't even go to KFC that much. I've been to KFC, I think, once in the last, like, 2 years. I had to forcefully go to a KFC, like, 3 years ago, staying at, like, a hotel or something, and that was, like, the only food nearby. I got KFC, and it was, like, so mid. I would say KFC is more mid than Raising Cane's. At least Raising Cane's has, like, good sauce. They have good fries. The chicken's whatever. The sauce really is the one thing that makes up for everything, though. L opinion. That's nice. Thank you, Amber, for becoming a 2-month member. Are we seeing CG lightning right now? I mean, we might be. We can't really see, though, the lightning strikes. They're probably behind the camera. They also could be cloud to cloud. I'm guessing with how bright the flashes are, they are probably cloud to ground lightning, though. You look like a Tasty Tacos guy. What? I don't even know what that is. Hey, Morgan, for the $5 super chat. Losing... I missed the message. Losing power in Des Moines. Have seen multiple red flashes from my apartment. Well, red flashes probably are just lightning. I don't know what else that could even be. Thank you, Bud, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Yeah, I've never heard of Tasty Tacos. Never heard of it. Freddy's has better sauce than Cane's. To be honest with you, I don't know what Freddy's is. I've seen it, but I've never been to one, and I've never seen it IRL. Sometimes when somebody says Freddy's, I think they're talking about Freddie McKinney's place or something. Like, low-key. Pretty funny. You look like a Whataburger guy. Guys, I also think Whataburger is extremely mid. That is probably the worst place, in my opinion, for fast food. Like, one of the worst. Like, it's either that or we're going, like, you know, whatever. I mean, like, Jack in the Box is crappy. What's the other one? There's another one. Hardee's. Hardee's is not good either. They're just, like, the most mid places that you can possibly go. Alright, nothing on radar right now. We're just going to stay on the live cam for now. So again, back over just north of Des Moines. That's what we're looking at right now. Culver's is mid? Culver's is not mid. If you get it like once or twice a month, it's amazing. If you get it like once every day, I think it's mid. It gets so repetitive so fast. I've had a problem recently getting Culver's because I've just had it so much. Like I need like a new food item there or something. Other, like, you know, curds are great, fries are great, but like the main entree, I need something new. Need something spicy. Yeah, change it up. How's the Iowa City tornado risk looking tonight? It's pretty low. Really, again, the tornado risk right now is low across the entire board right now. It's very, I would say very low. It's not zero, but it's just very low in general. Olive Garden vlog when? What? I've been to Olive Garden once in the last 2 years. I went for a lunch special, and their lunch specials are so tiny. It's like eating like a snack from your, you know, cabinet or pantry or whatever. They're so small. Thank you, DJ, for the $1.99. Probably gonna be a pretty low tornado risk tomorrow. Again, I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. It'll. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like I will, just because I like covering Midwest stuff, and that tornado threat tomorrow might be interesting to cover. But if nothing happens, we won't be live. It's a little conditional. It depends on if storms get going. So we'll see. What about Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A's all right, but I've gone there so much, I've kind of gotten sick of Chick-fil-A. I'd rather go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I gotta say, their cheese curds at Buffalo Wild Wings with the Southwest Ranch, they hit hard. Like, they are the best thing there. They're amazing. Is Midwest your favorite to cover? Honestly, it is. I did a poll the other day about like where does everybody live, you know, like my viewers and whatnot. Like 60% of my viewers would live in the Midwest, which is crazy. 60% and I had like 5 different options. I had like Midwest, I think like Central and Southern Plains, like Dixie Alley or Southeast or something like that, and like the Northeast or like the Mid-Atlantic. And literally 60% of people said they were in the Midwest, which is absurd. I didn't realize how many Midwest watchers we had. Obviously, the Midwest is a very populated area, but, you know, still pretty crazy. Define Midwest? Well, that's the problem. People think the Midwest goes all the way into Ohio. There's no shot. The Midwest is like this. Like, this is what I consider the Midwest. I would say, like, kind of like, you know, we could throw in Michigan and Indiana, sure. But, like, Ohio, no. Kentucky, definitely not. Like, anywhere over to the east, there's no shot you're calling that the Midwest. It's just not. I don't care what they call the Midwest. I don't know why Ohio is in the Midwest when literally they are east. They are so far east. They are the Mid-East. The Mid-East in Ohio. Official definition is the correct definition. Not on this channel. No. I'm never calling Ohio the Midwest. I'll call it either the Mid-East, or I will call it mid in general, or I'll just call it the Ohio Valley. Like, there's no reason to make a region this big. It's like they wanted to make everybody included. They wanted to make everybody feel included. They want all those states to feel nice about being in the Midwest. That might be why so many people said Midwest, is because the definition of Midwest is just so dumb. Where's Connor? He's about to be out of Culver's. Getting some cheese curds, maybe. If he gets cheese curds, maybe tonight storms will go crazy. You may have just made Ohio mad. I really don't care. Like, I don't give a crap. Like, I think that I really still think the Midwest thing, it really irks me. Because, like, I don't understand how Ohio is Midwest when they are almost on the East Coast. Like, you almost can reach the Atlantic Ocean. You can almost reach out with your arms and get there. Like, it's crazy. One of my friends thought Midwest was like over here in like Colorado or something. Like, no, that's not where it is. Are you grasping for the super chat? B-dubs curds with a side of caramel sauce. Caramel sauce? That's an interesting duo. Might have to try it sometime. What am I talking about? You don't want to know. It's a stupid conversation. I know I'm 100% right on it too. 100%. Can we get a gritty? No, I can't do a gritty today. I'm not in my normal studio. I don't have enough room. When the studio is fully set up, the secondary studio, I'll probably have enough room. Well, I'll make sure I have enough room. Will Topeka get hit hard? Not really. I mean, again, just isolated damaging winds. Not really seeing anything that concerning here. Alright. Make sure this is good. Alright, cool. I think Connor's about to pull right into Culver's. Let me go full cam real quick. This is a big deal. That's Brandon Kopic. This is Connor Croft. He's pulling into Home Depot, apparently. And he just ran right through that stop sign. Wow. That was not a stop, guys.
Okay, well, I'm gonna park you guys somewhere where you might be able to see something.
Look at that Culver's. Wow. Much wow. I think he's in... I don't even know where he is. I think he's like Sioux Falls area or something like that. Have I ever tried Steak and Shake? I have not. No, I don't have any opinion on it. Five Guys I haven't had either.
That's the general direction of the storms. So you guys can look that way. I ran the stop sign. Did I actually?
James went into his jet and said he ran a stop sign. We all witnessed it, don't worry.
Please tell us you got some Tums? Culver's never upsets my stomach. I don't eat Tums. If you guys do, then you might not want to order. All right,
Connor
guys.
for Culver's. That's what he's doing.
Back. I will be back.
Getting some Culver's. Whenever he gets back, we'll rate him. Might be a while, depending on how slow or fast that Culver's is. I don't know how fast it is. I've seen Twisters. I've not. No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm not like in a rush to see it because I'm not a big movie person, but I'll probably watch it at some point here soon. Like as a Storm Chaser, like I think it's a big deal because like Storm Chasers, like it's more based about Storm Chasers. I'm pretty sure, but personally, I'm just not a big movie person. One, and then two, I haven't really even had time to do it. I mean, Connor was down here for like a week. We probably could have watched it, but we had a busy week, and then after that, I've been still doing a lot of stuff. So maybe though, sometime the next week or two, I'll try to do it. What is going on in Milwaukee for the last 50 frames? Don't know. I'll look real quick. What, this? This looks like an outflow. It might even be like a sea breeze or something. That's just a full-blown outflow going across Wisconsin. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about. Just an outflow. Lake breeze? I call it sea breeze. I don't know why. I mean, you could call it a sea if you want. I don't know if that's political. Like, I don't know if that's like grammatically correct, but you could call it that. Good old sea breeze off of a lake. Check the bats. We haven't looked down there in so long. The problem is the radar site is out. Do we have bats coming out of north of San Antonio now? Looks like we have a new bat area. We have like a new bat cave or something here near Garden Ridge, north of San Antonio, Texas. Is he muted or is it just you? It's just you. It's not me. Sorry to tell you. I don't even think you can hear me saying that, so I don't know why I'm responding. Windy out here. This is the Radar Omega Cyclone Port in Burlington, Kansas. A little windy right now. Nothing too crazy. Ryan Hall versus Max Velocity golf match during a tornado. Who would win? He doesn't even golf, so he couldn't do a golf match. I actually messaged him about that. Might do like a mini golf match or something. Maybe at some point. But I doubt we'll have it live or anything like that. We're not doing a full-blown live stream for mini golf. That'd be crazy. Crazy behavior. No, but me, Freddie McKinney, Connor, and maybe like Storm Intermedia or something. If I'm ever out there in like the Central Plains, we might do like a mini golf or an actual golf match or something. We'll see. We golf? Absolutely. It's the biggest hail in Iowa right now. Probably like cheese curd sized hail. There's probably not much happening there. Probably pretty tiny hail. Mini golf is better suited for a live stream. It probably is, honestly. We did that golf match, and honestly, it would have probably been better if we had like a tracing technology thing. It would have been way better. Much better for the viewer, at least. But we didn't have that. I don't know how expensive that is either. I don't know if there's like a software or something for it, but probably not cheap. But again, we're not professional golf, YouTubers, so that sort of stuff is a bit, harder to come by, and actually we don't really have any knowledge in it, so it doesn't really help there either. Did have a 65-mile-per-hour wind gust reported in Des Moines at the International Airport. Up to 16-inch diameter trees were down, so that's an estimate on the wind speeds between 60 and 70 miles per hour. See you later, Emily. Disc golf stream. I played disc golf once. It's pretty lit. Underrated for sure. It's nuts in Des Moines right now. Yeah, it's probably just mostly wind. This is the leading edge right here of that wind threat. It's moving through Maxwell, Amos, going towards Baxter and Newton. That'll be where the main threat is now, and honestly, again, it's just so outflow driven. The wind threat and the tornado threat have dropped substantially on this. So, good news is that the risk is probably dropping here overall. It has been really for like an hour now, but we're still here. But the storms are getting going back up near Sioux Falls, so it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out, but it should just mostly be wind, maybe even a flooding threat, and that'll be basically about it up there. So aside from that, things are not looking too shabby across the board. The storm here near Manhattan is like a little hook on it, just not getting attached to that outflow right now. If it got attached to the outflow boundary, it could go crazy, but kind of doubt it. Mostly wind, I think, from here on out across all the risk areas tonight. Do I know Myra? I don't know who Myra is. We're looking at Iowa right now. Just mostly a wind threat at this point. We're waiting for Connor to come back from getting us Culver's food, and then I'm going to raid him. His chat is going to go crazy when we raid him. I know that for a fact. It's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. Severe wind threat will continue with an eastward moving mesoscale convective system across parts of central and southern Iowa. The ETAs are kind of on your screen there in the middle. What did one hurricane say to another hurricane? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know that joke. I have my eye on you. What a corny joke. It's like a dad joke. I laugh at those ones all the time too. You can raid on YouTube? You can. They call it redirecting, so it's technically a redirect. I don't know what the difference is, but apparently it's a redirect. Yeah, there's over 200,000 without power in Omaha. I don't think that number's changed either. Let me check. All right, Connor just came back, so... Yeah, 246,000 without power in Nebraska. Almost got to 250,000. It's about 40% of the state without power. That's crazy. That's such a high number when you think about it. 40% without power in Nebraska. Most of them are in the Omaha area, for what it's worth. So, and as well as Lincoln. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's stream. Weather's kind of quieting down for the time being. It's, again, mostly a wind threat from here on out, so just make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts. Make sure to stay tuned. Don't leave the stream so we can all raid Connor. Make sure to put, like, raid or max velocity raid or whatever you want in the chat when you get redirected to him. But a few reminders before you leave. Make sure to download Radar Omega if you need a weather app to stay ahead of the storms. It is the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. You can check it out. Again, that's the weather app we've been using this entire stream. I do appreciate them sponsoring today's stream. Also, make sure to like the stream, subscribe if you're new to the channel, stay up to date with the latest severe weather coverages, videos, all that sort of jazz. Also, join our Discord server. The link's in the description. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook at MaxVelocityWX. Those links also down in the the description down below. If you want to send us fan mail, there is a dedicated link now in the description for that, so make sure to go check that out. It's like one of the top links in the description now. So if you want to send any fan mail, feel free. We'll open it probably on one of these streams. But other than that, appreciate you guys all tuning in. Have a great, safe rest of your night. We'll see you guys all again in the next stream. It might be tomorrow, probably sometime, though, in the next few days we'll be live again. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys all again in the next one.